Matt Diaz, kicker.
This is Taylor Behl, linebacker.
This is Jordan Oldroyd, quarterback.
This is RJ Marino. This is Matt Diaz, kicker.
This is Taylor Behl, linebacker.
This is Jordan Oldroyd, quarterback.
This is RJ Marino, running. This is Matt Diaz, kicker.
This is Taylor Behl, linebacker.
This is Jordan Oldroyd, quarterback.
This is RJ Marino, running back.
This is Corey Coleman, wide receiver.
This is Taco Williams, defensive back, and you are listening to Georgetown Eagle Football on SHN Sports.
There's a special night in fall where generations come together and meet to celebrate common ground, heritage, pride, and love of football. It's called Homecoming Night, and tonight the Eagles from around the state of Texas have made their way to Birkelback Field for Georgetown hosting Stephenville on Homecoming. A pleasant good evening to you. I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall, our producer Nathan Height. Galen Walnecki is up here helping us in the booth. David England is down on the sidelines. We will go ahead and send it right down to David because he is joined with Coach Chuck Griffin. David, how are you doing down there on the sidelines?
Doing well, Carl. Kelly, we've got Coach Griffin here. Coach, it's been a fun 3-0 start so far this year to the season. Give us your thoughts on tonight's game and some keys to victory.
You know, this football team we played so far, Stephenville is well coached. You know, they bring great tradition coming in here, and we got to go out and play our game, take care of the Georgetown Eagles, try to get after the quarterback a little bit, and try to tempo them some on offense, and let's go get a victory.
All right, thank you, Coach. Good luck.
All
Carl,
right. Hey, thank you, David. How are things there on the sidelines?
It is energetic as Stephenville makes their way on the field, but Georgetown fans are up big tonight. We've got a large showing at Birkelbach. It's about 83 degrees, feels like 93, but that wind out of the south at 10 miles an hour, there's not a cloud in the sky, and it is energetic. It's homecoming. They ran out of food at the tailgate. Lots of folks here tonight. It should be an interesting game. I think, Stephenville had a 3-hour bus ride up here. And we'll see how they react to that. Plus, they've got 6 players playing both ways. So I give the edge to Georgetown, of course. Carl, Kelly.
Hey, thank you, David. We'll be checking in with you periodically throughout the night. Once again, I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. We are happy that you guys tuned in for this broadcast of Georgetown Eagle football here on SHN Sports as we are moments away from kickoff, about 5 minutes away to be exact. The Georgetown Eagles in their inflatable tunnel with fog coming out, ready to take the field with the battle flag of Gonzalez ready to burst through the homecoming sheet. And as the team crowds the field, come and take it. Kaden is on its way out into the end zone. And Kelly, this is a team coming off of a bye week, and as the Georgetown Eagles come back to football, they're probably looking to score more than 11 points that they did against South Sand.
Yeah, that was a bit of a battle at South Sand, and when you look at it, it's like a baseball score, 11-8, but the Eagles are going to look to get on track tonight. RJ Marino's not going to be playing tonight, so they're going to have to rely on some younger running backs, but they got some good talent at the running back position. They've got some depth and some good young runners that run really hard. Of course, we've also got a second-team quarterback that's also heavily relied on in the running game. So it's going to be very interesting tonight to see what the Eagles bring, what difference looks they give tonight to try to increase that offensive output.
Yeah, of course, with the absence of RJ Marino, you're going to see a lot of Ryan Eady and Zane Quick get the football, as well as, as you mentioned, alluded to, a combination of Jordan Oltorp and Darson Herman out there under center or in the shotgun, prepared to take on whoever the potential defense might be. As David alluded to, a lot of players going both ways for the Yellowjackets, and the captains ready to meet at midfield for the coin toss, and it is a sea of blue. The Georgetown marching band already playing in the pregame, so they wouldn't have to delay homecoming court or wait until after. Once they fill up the stands, I would say the home side will be full.
Yeah, it will be, and a lot of folks always come back for Thanksgiving, homecoming. Not quite the Thanksgiving football weekend, but a lot of folks come back for homecoming, and I see some familiar faces, and it's good to see all these folks coming in here and supporting the kids, supporting the homecoming court. you get all the banter and all the excitement of Friday night football here in Georgetown, and it's turning into a beautiful evening. We're going to have to go down to Doppler Dave and get that weather report before too terribly long, because we can't kick off the game without the Doppler Dave report.
Yeah, while we are at it, why don't we go ahead and check in with David one more time. David, anything in the forecast tonight? Please tell me rain.
I wish there was rain tonight, but unfortunately there's not. It's 89 degrees and sunny. Feels like 93. The wind is south-southeast at 10 miles an hour. There is not a cloud in the sky. The lights are on. Friday night football. It's a beautiful, beautiful night here in Georgetown at Birkelbach. If you're not here, get in the car. Come on out here. You got to be here. It's going to be a good game.
Thank you, David. It will be Georgetown receiving the football, heading towards the north end zone to start this football game. About a minute 40 until the kickoff commences, and while the home side is full, not too bad on the other side for people making the 3-hour drive from Stephenville. Of course, Boots Elliott, the radio broadcaster, also available for the people who couldn't make the drive from Stephenville. But we have a good matchup tonight, and I think the Eagles are ready to get back to football.
I think so, and the excitement that's around it is Stephenville's dealing with some injuries tonight as well. So, Carl, I think we're going to go down and have our national anthem.
Yep, we will go ahead and let it take over for the crowd mic, and when we come back, it'll be kickoff from Birkelbach Field on SHN Sports.
And now for the singing of our national anthem, sung by members of the Georgetown High School Choir under the direction of Jody Lawrence and Stacy Brandenberger.
Nicely done rendition of the national anthem from the Georgetown High School Choir. Once again, Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. It is time for kickoff. Georgetown will be getting the ball first, and as we said 2 weeks ago when they traveled all the way to South San Antonio to face the South San Bobcats, only putting up 11 points. This is an offense eager to try and get some points on the board.
Yeah, and I think Georgetown's going to try to grind it out. Stephenville's only got 30 kids in uniform tonight, so it could become a battle of attrition for them to see if they can keep from getting gassed, getting winded. Georgetown is always in excellent physical shape. Another interesting thing is going to be this wind. You could hear the wind in the microphone while the choir was singing the national anthem. We'll see if it affects anything. Stephenville's got a kicker with a big leg, so that could come into play early in the game. But we'll see if Georgetown can grind this out, pound the ball, get that big offensive line and defensive lines to control that line of scrimmage, and we'll see how well they can do.
As the teams break into their final huddles and get ready to get onto the field, it'll be 12-minute quarters as usual in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter. We are happy you guys tuned in to SHN Sports for a homecoming game between the Georgetown Eagles and the Stephenville Yellowjackets. As the Eagles take the field, they're wearing white pants with blue stripes down the side, blue jerseys with white numerals, and clean silver helmets with the Georgetown G on the side and a white stripe down the middle. Meanwhile, the other way, the Stephenville Yellowjackets wearing a navy blue pants with yellow kind of rectangles on the side, white jerseys, black numerals, black helmets. As the Yellowjackets get ready, it'll be Trace Morrison ready to kick it away. Back deep to receive the kickoff for the Georgetown Eagles is Cade Lachlan. A different kind of formation where a solid 4 Yellowjackets are waiting at the 35. The rest of them are waiting at the 40, while it'll only be a 3-yard charge by Morrison. So he might just be sending this one. It's a squib kick and an onside kick attempt, and it might have been picked up by the Yellowjackets as they tried to catch the Georgetown Eagles off guard, and it does look like the Yellowjackets start off with an onside kick and take over at the 40-yard line in plus territory to start things off. It was Bryson Dill coming up with the ball for Stephenville, and not how Georgetown wanted to start the game.
Kind of a gutsy call to start off the game, but neither of these teams is starting district tonight, so what do you have to lose? You know, Stephenville is – I talked to their coaches before the game, and they're looking for a spark, and that may be the spark they wanted right there. Gutsy call.
So the Yellowjackets, who deferred, were ready to go ahead and send the onside kick, and Cade Renfro is ready to lead this offense out. Renfro is in the shotgun. 1st and 10 from the Georgetown 40. Man goes in motion left to right. It's an end around and then a trick play, pass down the right side and into the hands. Touchdown. A touchdown from the Trace Morrison, who just kicked it off. He caught it on the pass from the receiver who came around. That was Alexander Barba, and man, a 40-yard touchdown just following an onside kick and 2 straight punches into the mouth for the Yellowjackets to the Eagles to start this game off. 13 seconds in, it's 6-0. And the point after attempt from Morrison, who just hit the touchdown, just caught the touchdown, sends it through, makes it 7-0 here. Stephenville on top after 2 plays in this game, and this is a shocker that quieted a excited homecoming crowd.
Taco Williams, the left corner for Georgetown, bought the handoff and came up to try to contain, make a tackle up there, and once he realized the receiver on the end around was pulling up to throw the ball, he was cooked early. So the fans haven't even gotten settled in their seats yet, and Stephenville's on the board.
Yeah, Stephenville ready to go with a couple of unique plays. A squib kick that was designed to go right where the Eagles weren't, and a different kind of formation to go ahead and set up blockers to go after that onside kick, and then the end-around pass that led to a receiver on a go route getting into the end zone, and all of a sudden it's 7-0. Georgetown about to receive a second kickoff.
Boy, you start the game with 2 trick plays and they both work. That opens up everything for you for the foreseeable future in this ball game.
Brandon Bradford and Cade Lachlan back deep to receive this kick from Morrison, who just found the end zone. He sends it away from the 40, end over end. This one will be taken by Lachlan at the 20, looking for space down the numbers. He's tripped up at the 30 and falls forward to around the 33-yard line. That's where the Georgetown Eagle offense will start off as they get their first chance at controlling the football here after a surprise onside kick. Got the Yellowjackets the first possession of the game.
As long as they can go down and put points on the board, you can shake off this first possession for both teams and then get the football.
Jordan Oltorp will be the man in the shotgun out of the pistol. Ryan Eady behind him. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Oltorp drops back, throws a swing pass out to the right side, is caught by Brandon Bradford, and he maybe takes it outside for about a half a yard on the first play from scrimmage for the Eagles. It brings up 2nd and 9.
This is where the Eagles have to jump out there and stay in their game. There's probably a tendency to want to get more involved, but they got to stay in their game plan.
2nd and 9, and Oltorp will fake the handoff on the play action. He hits a receiver at the 35. He finds space down. That's Jacob Trussell to the 44-yard line before he's out of bounds. He has enough for the first down. He moves the chains for the Eagles, and the clock stops at 11:08 in the first quarter as the Eagles are trying to inch towards midfield.
It's always interesting whenever a high school football team gets burned on the first couple of plays, how they're going to react, and good start so far for the Eagle offense.
It's Ryan Eady behind Oltorp in the pistol. Man goes in motion, and Eady will take it off right guard. He gets across midfield into the secondary and gets to Stephenville's 48-yard line for a pickup of 8 yards on first down. 2nd and 8 coming up for the Eagles.
Eady's one of those good young running backs that I was talking about, and he's got deceptive strength because he doesn't look like he's that big, but he's got such strong legs and gets low, runs the ball low, does a great job of moving forward. Rarely gets brought down on the first contact.
It's a Wildcat formation here for the Eagles, and a pass out to the flats, and making the catch, bringing it down, is Ryan Eady, who was playing wide receiver. He picks up the first down across the 45 to the 44-yard line, as it looks like Cord Sparkman actually was the man behind the center that time, as Oltorp had to come back in now here on 1st and 10 from the Stephenville 44-yard line. Eady goes over to the right here as Oltorp is in the shotgun. Zone read, he hands it off. Stretching out to the left side is Eady as he crosses the 40-yard line. He makes it to the 39 following his blockers. And that's a 5-yard gain on first down.
Offensive line's doing a good job of controlling that line of scrimmage, which they're used to doing because they've got such good size, good strength. They're coached very well, so it's good to see this push from the O-line.
Oltorp motions Eady to his left, and now he sends a man in motion, and Oltorp will fake the handoff on 2nd and 5, run up the middle and gain about 1.5 yards on 2nd and 5. Clock moving at 9:30 left to play in the first quarter.
There's a lot of conversation about whenever Darson Herman comes in to play quarterback because of his running abilities, but Oltorp has a pretty good run to himself as well.
Oltorp with Eady behind him on 3rd and 3 from the Stephenville 37. He hands it off to Eady. Eady has a first down, more across the 30 to the 20. Makes a man miss at the 10-5. Touchdown Eagles.
There you go. Eady hasn't got a ton of playing time, but every time he's been on the field this year, we've seen good things out of him. Junior running back, and boy, that was a good, strong run. The offensive line on that left side, the guard and the tackle on the left side just opened up a huge hole for Eady to run through, and he did the rest on his own. Broke a couple of tackles and finds pay dirt. What a great run.
He takes it 33 yards at 9:01 left to play in the first quarter. The Eagles answer back with a touchdown of their own. It'll be Matt Diaz ready to kick the point after attempt. And it looks like there was a number change on us. Darson Herman wearing 16. He was the one who came in to run that one play on that drive as Diaz knocks the point after attempt. We are tied up at 7. 9:01 left to play in the first quarter. And we are going to take a break on SHN Sports. We'll be back with more of the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter here in a moment. It's homecoming evening on SHN Sports. The Eagles versus the Yellowjackets. We're tied at 7.
Program Insurance Group is designed to fit your insurance needs. We will help you manage and plan for all your potential risks. As professionals, we assess your needs and offer you a variety of insurance products to choose from. Service, whether it is in response to an insurance claim or general question, is the most important value we offer you. For more information, please visit pigbcs.com.
We're back here. It is 7-7, 9:01 left to play in the first quarter. The Eagles had an onside kick recovered by Stephenville to start off the first quarter, and then the next play, the Yellowjackets were able to score on a trick play, end-around pass that led to a 40-yard touchdown. Here Diaz will kick it away after the Eagles were able to answer back with a touchdown of their own. It is a touchdown of their own. It's a touchback on the kickoff, and the Yellowjackets will start this second drive of the game for their offense at the 25.
Really interesting there, because a lot of times with that two-step address that Marino just not Marino that he just kicked the ball with, a lot of times he'll kick it, that pooch kick down around the 25-yard line, and this time he was strong enough leg to put it into the end zone with that wind behind his back.
So Cade Renfro will come out for the second series of offense and the second play from scrimmage for Stephenville. It's a handoff and a run to the left side, cutting outside and getting across the 30, being shoved out of bounds close to the first down is Kason Phillips, and he's right at the yard to gain. It'll be second and about 1 here with the clock stopped at 8:54.
Good job by Stephenville on that left side of the line out there, and by the wide receivers out there tying up their men and getting good gain.
Rolling out to the right, it's Renfro stepping up in the pocket, and he has nowhere to go. He is brought down by a couple Eagles for a loss behind the 30, and that's about 6 yards.
Good job by the Eagle line then, that defensive line able to get that strong push. Quarterback wanted to roll a little bit, but the pocket collapsed on him too quick, and he had no place to go. Good job by the Eagle D.
3rd and 6, the ball on the Stephenville 29. The Yellowjackets trying to get something going here to avoid the 3-and-out clock, moving again at 8:25, and Renfro tries a hard count, doesn't get anybody to jump off sides. Out of the pistol, who's going to change the play. He has Phillips behind him. It's a toss to Phillips, who wants to run around left end. He spins behind away from a tackle, but is only able to pick up a couple yards to the 31-yard line before Colby Cummings makes the tackle, and that'll bring up 4th down, and out comes the punting unit for Stephenville.
Great pursuit by the blue jerseys on the defensive side of the football that time. Just strung it out. Running back had no place to go. They did a great job of controlling their blockers, moving them out of the way and just surrounding him, bringing him down. So the Eagles going to get the football back much better than that first series.
De La Rosa and Lachlan back deep to receive the ensuing punt. And as this one is sent away by Morrison, it is high in the air. Fair catch called for at the 25-yard line, and that'll be brought down by De La Rosa. With 7:25 left to play in the first quarter, the Eagles defense gets a chance to face conventional offense, and they force a 3-and-out. Here comes the Eagles offense fresh off of a touchdown, looking to take the first lead of the evening.
That's exactly what you want, and I said a little bit earlier, you get a trick play that first touchdown. You put points on the board, you answer it, you throw that away, and now we get to play football.
So coming out wearing 16 instead of his typical 8 will be Darson Herman. He'll lead the offense here on their second drive. Starting from the 25, it's an option, and taking it is Edie following his left tackle. He lowers his shoulder at the 30, and he's brought down right there according to the officials. Clock keeps moving at 7:13. It's a pickup of about 5 yards on first down.
Youngsters in the backfield getting it done to a junior and a sophomore quarterback. Darson Herman, sophomore, 6'3", 215, big kid, strong kid. He's fun to watch run. Kind of hate to see him pitch the football, but Edie's doing a great job back there tonight so far.
Herman in the shotgun on 2nd and 5. Edie to his left. He fakes the handoff, and Herman rolls out to the right, tries to fire it, and incomplete off of the hands of the intended receiver, Lachlan. He would have picked up a first down, and he'd been able to pull it down at around the 40. Instead, it'll bring up 3rd and 5, ball at the Eagles' own 30-yard line.
Lachlan was open there. Herman just had the ball just a little bit behind him and above him. Tough catch to make, but Stephenville's been watching the film on Herman and know he's likely to run the ball, so they'll man up out there on the corners and see if Herman can beat him with his arm.
3rd and 5 from the 30. Herman in the pistol with Edie behind him. He drops back for a pass, pump fakes, and he's under pressure. He'll be sacked. That'll drop the yards back, the line of scrimmage back to the 27-yard line, and out will come the punting unit. So a pair of 3-and-outs following a pair of touchdowns to start the first drive for both teams. The second drive not as fruitful, and the Eagles will be the ones to kick it away this time from the 30-yard line.
radically different series for both these offenses on their second series. So now it's time to just muscle it out and see who's going to last.
Gavin Roundtree out to receive this punt, and it's an end-over-end kick. That's a boomer that is taken at the 35-yard line. Roundtree tries to return it. He gets it to the 41-yard line. Flags come flying in, and Kelly, I think you saw that what that might have been.
Blocking the back right in the middle of the field. Man, if you can't see their face, don't block them. But Stephenville, one of the Stephenville defenders just pushed him right in the back.
Yeah, well, while we have a moment, let's go ahead and send it down to David England. David, what do you got for us?
Carl, Kelly, I will tell you, the atmosphere down here is pretty funny. They've got a lot of noisemakers on the other side on Stephenville. They've got some propane tanks that are making a lot of noise. So they don't have any folks, but they are making some noise.
Anytime you mention propane, it reminds me of King of the Hill in small town Texas. So, yeah.
Something interesting, they've had those propane tanks for years. My high school played Stephenville in state championship, I believe it was in 2000 in the Astrodome, and they had the noisemakers then. They have them now.
Well, thank you for the update, David. It is Renfro in the shotgun. He fakes the handoff, and he hits Morrison in the flats for a first down and more as he crosses the 40. He's brought down at around the 43-yard line, a gain of 12 on first down from the 31, and a nice playmaking ability shown by Morrison, who already has a touchdown on the evening. The clock keeps moving at 5:45 left in the first.
Those quick hits are always difficult. You got to have a lot of discipline on the defensive side of the ball with those quick passes like that.
Man goes in motion. Renfro fakes the handoff, and he'll throw a swing pass out into the 45 and then rolling across midfield after making the catch. Coming down with the ball was Phillips out of the backfield, and he makes this a second down, but looks like we have a flag on the other side of the field as Miranda was the one who made the tackle.
Yeah, I think it's going to be another push in the back. Blindside block.
So the Eagles will go ahead and take advantage of a Stephenville penalty instead of a short distance to the yard to gain. The ball will be moved back from the spot of the foul, and it looks like it'll be near the original line of scrimmage. Actually, it'll be marked off from around that area. So the officials not necessarily doing a good job with their body language telling us what's going on. Now they're going to mark it off from where the end of the play was. Okay, so the Yellowjackets had got it across the 50, and now they're going to have to deal with a loss of yard all the way back to the 36-yard line. So it's a solid first and a mile here for the Yellowjackets.
I want to talk about that mark after this play.
Renfro in the pistol. Zone read, fires it over to the right side on the pass, and being brought down immediately is Cole Stanley as Sal De La Rosa was able to trip him up for a short gain to the 40-yard line, and that'll make this a second and about 13.
I didn't quite understand that spot unless a block in the back is, or a blindside block is a spot foul. I didn't think it was a spot foul, but they marked it like it was either a dead ball foul or a spot foul.
Here's a handoff to Phillips. Phillips gets through the trenches and then is hit at the 43-yard line where the original line of scrimmage is, and I'll bring up 3rd and 10 as Noe Ibarra was the one who made the stop for the Eagles. 4:30 left to play in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter.
It's those tackles like that the defensive coaches love. It'd be easier to tell you who wasn't involved than it would who was involved, because it was a ton. 9 blue shirts on the ball carrier.
1st and 10, Stephenville at their own 43-yard line. Renfro drops back after faking the handoff. He's under pressure. He escapes out to the left side. Looking down the field, he's going to have to try and tuck it and run, and he throws it into the hands of a receiver who picks up the first down. An athletic play made by Renfro as he was able to find a receiver, and then able to make the catch was for Stephenville, Kaden Cowen, and that'll be close to a first down. I thought he was past the line of scrimmage when he made the throw. There's laundry on the field.
I'm standing right at the 43-yard line, which is where the line of scrimmage was, and his entire body has to be past the line of scrimmage, and his right leg was still back behind the line. it was a good call by the referees in not calling it an illegal forward pass, or they may have now.
Well, there is a flag. It seems to be more in the area of a hold. There is a injured Yellow Jacket on the field. 3:58 left to play in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter, and we're going to go ahead and take a break. We're tied at 7, 3:58 left in the first here on SHN Sports, Georgetown Eagle homecoming game.
And now, your hometown Fighting Tigers. Is this what you hear at your school's athletic events? Has school spirit disappeared from your halls? Well, Waterboy Graphics can't fix the depth along the offensive line, but what they can do is give the look of your athletic facilities a boost that will bring the pride back to students, teachers, and fans. Replace the fading 80s mural in the gym with a customized slick series of graphics that scream school pride. In the locker room before the big game on a Friday, surround the team with images of what it means to be a part of that elite team. From the fields to the courts to the hallways, Waterboy Graphics elevates boring facilities to a level that are typical to major universities. We can put graphics on anything. From creative concept to installation, Waterboy Graphics' in-house team is on point. So the next time this happens, and now, your hometown Fighting Tigers! This happens. Waterboy Graphics, making school pride cool again. See everything we do at waterboygraphics.com. That's waterboygraphics.com.
7-7 your score. The Georgetown Eagles and the Stephenville Yellowjackets tied up with 3:58 left to play in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter, and the flag was an illegal forward pass, and there's conversations happening between the Stephenville coaches and the officials, but I don't think that they're going to change their minds, Kelly.
No, they're not going to change their minds. I think Coach Doty for Stephenville does have a legitimate – it's going to be interesting to go back and watch the video after we post it tonight after midnight, but I think he's got a legitimate beef. I don't think he was past the line, but we'll see.
Lachlan and De La Rosa back deep to receive this kick from Morrison. The clock moving again here at 3:50 left to play in the first quarter. It'll be a punt, and that penalty makes it 4th and 15. The ball's at the 38-yard line. Morrison's going to punt this one around the 28-yard line. He sends this one spiraling as it bounces at the 25. It takes a great Stephenville bounce at the 20 and is down at the 16. Called the 17-yard line, and with 3:32 left to play in the first quarter, the Yellowjackets and the Eagles are tied at 7. The Eagles come out for their third offensive series. They were able to score on their first possession. The second possession was a 3-and-out, and the Eagles now will come out with 3:32, try and score again, take the lead.
This is where the Eagles really need to start grinding this football and work on this defense and just run the ball right at them. I think they probably will run the ball some more now.
1st and 10 for Herman from his own 17-yard line. Edie was to his left. He's going to fake it on a counter to the right side and take it to the 20-yard line and pick up about 3 yards on first down.
Stephenville obviously was watching some game film because out there on the corner they had number 40 out there, their outside linebacker. He was really staying at home. Quentin Walker stayed at home and was able to contain Darson for a short gain.
2nd and 7, Herman to the shotgun. Edie to his left. He hands it off to Edie, who cuts around right guard and to the middle of the field. He was able to pick up about 4 yards to the 24-yard line. So a gain of 4 brings up 3rd and 4. It's a long 4 here for the Eagles to try and avoid a consecutive 3-and-out.
It's at this point in the game, you know, in their first series, the passing game worked out real well. Running game didn't work out so well in that second, but you got to stick to your game plan.
Herman will drop back on 3rd and 4. Looks to his left, fires to his left. It's caught by Lachlan. He has a first down and more, and he is brought down across the 40 to the 41-yard line for a big gain of about 18 yards for the Georgetown Eagles.
Darson did a great job of finding that open receiver because there were a bunch of jerseys over there, white and blue, and he saw that opening. There was a great pattern run by Cade out there on the edge, and great throw by Darson. Good, nice, tight spiral. Threw it on a rope. Good pass. Good gain.
Trussell's in the backfield with Edie and Herman. Herman in the shotgun, 1st and 10 from their own 41-yard line. A quick pass out to the flats. It's caught across the 45 to the 50, down to the other 45 and brought out of bounds. It's Corey Coleman who picks up the first down for the Eagles and puts them into Stephenville territory. The ball run out of bounds at the 42-yard line. The Eagles right back to the line of scrimmage, 1st and 10. They're waiting on the officials. Herman in the shotgun, claps his hands for the snap. He's going to run to the right side, follow his blockers, gets across the 40, stays on his feet to the 35, and is down to the 33, caught the 34-yard line, close to a first down on first down, and picks up about 8 yards.
Another conversation with the referees. On the previous play, Stephenville had a safety blitz on, and what you run into there, sideline warning on the Stephenville bench, but the Stephenville got victimized by their own blitz because nobody out there to help the corner out, so that's the risk that you take running that safety blitz on those swing passes like that.
2nd and 1, the ball at the 33-yard line. Georgetown in Stephenville territory. 1:40 left to play in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter. It's Edie moving out of the pistol to the left of the shotgun Oldorp, and Oldorp will fake the pass on the play action, fired over to the left side, who's deflected, intended for the receiver Ryan Edie, who came out of the backfield running a wheel route, unable to come down with a good defense by Stephenville, and that stops the clock at 1:25 and makes it a 3rd and 1. Good time to go for a pass play.
Trace Morrison, the defender for Stephenville out there, was watching Oldorp's eyes the entire time, and he came over and made a good play on the football, kept that from being something big.
3rd and 1, Eagles line up in the pistol. Herman back in the shotgun. Is Edie to his left. It's a handoff to a man in motion, and it looks like he picked up the first down. That's Brandon Bradford, and it's really close. From my angle, he got it. Let's see if the officials will concur.
Right leg or left leg?
Yeah, that's what this is at the moment. Probably going to be close. The referee, I think, wants to call it 4th down.
Yeah, and this is 4-down territory for the Eagles. It's that in-between, just slightly out of Matt Diaz's range, so we'll see what they do. This is classic pooch punt territory for the Georgetown offense.
Well, Herman will stay in at quarterback. Looks like the Eagles are going to go for it. 34 seconds left. They will have to get a play off before the end of the first quarter. Herman claps his hands, hands it off to Edie, and Edie will be stopped in the backfield, brought down by Colton Akamazo, and that will be a turnover on down. Stephenville will get the ball back with 24 seconds left in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter. The ball will be at their own 34-yard line.
Herman had the option of keeping that ball himself, and when he's doing that, he's looking at the linebackers. Problem was, on that play, the linebacker stayed home, which causes Herman to hand that ball off, but there was penetration right up the gut, and that play was stopped for nothing. So Stephenville gets the ball, a good stop for their defense there.
Stephenville has the ball at their own 34-yard line. Renfro will drop back on 1st and 10, and he will be wrestled to the ground. A nice tackle made by Jonah Sales, Braden Hargrove, and Hargrove gets the credit for the tackle, and it's a tackle for loss. 2nd and 11 coming up. That'll be the last play of the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter. Stephenville and Georgetown tied up at 7 after a couple of opening series scores by both teams. We head into the second quarter. We'll take a break here on SHN Sports.
Locally owned by Pam and Al Bartschmidt, College Street Cottages is proud to offer vacation rentals in beautiful and historic Georgetown, Texas. With premium amenities and comfortably sized spaces, our cottages provide the best accommodations that Georgetown has to offer. All of the remodeled 1940s cottages include complete use of the entire house and yard, fenced backyard with seating, eating area, and a barbecue grill, convenient parking in front, and detached garages. For more information and to book, visit collegestreetcottages.com.
It's the start of the second quarter, and we will go ahead and check in with David England as this game is tied at 7. David, what do you got for us?
Carl, Kelly, I'd like to give you some thoughts here. Stephenville's first drive was a 3-and-out. Their second drive stalled on penalties, and already on their third drive, Georgetown defense already got a sack. We've got to be pleased with Georgetown's defense right now.
Georgetown definitely on the right side of things after that first series. Here's a play action for Renfro on 2nd and 11 from the 33. He's going to roll out to the right, just overthrow a receiver. About half a stride away from catching it was Morrison, and as the Eagles on cue have a good defensive play to bring up 3rd and 11 with 11:54 left to play in the Courtney home inspection second quarter.
It's really nice to watch this quarterback play for Kaden Renfro play for Stephenville. He is a athletic young man back there. It's fun to watch athletes on both sides of the ball. It was going to take a perfect throw then because the Eagle defense did a great job on their coverage.
3rd and 11. Kaden Renfro in the shotgun. Phillips to his left, a spread look at two receivers on both sides. He fires it and he catches. Stanley is the one who makes the catch at 45, picks up the first down for Stephenville.
That motion then on the Stephenville offensive side of the ball caused some problems for the coverage guys on the defense, and he was wide open all by himself.
1st and 10, ball still at the Stephenville 49. They're trying to work their way in Eagle territory. Renfro in the shotgun. Here's Phillips behind him. A handoff to Phillips, who runs around right end, gets to the 50, and then is brought down at the 45-yard line. Tackle made there by Georgetown's Taylor Behl. Gain of 7 there, brings up 2nd and 3.
Wide receiver Cole Stanley out there kind of got away with a little push in the back on the edge and really opened up that run.
Renfro on 2nd and 3 from the Georgetown 44-yard line. It's a handoff to Phillips. Phillips looking to go to the left side. Flag comes flying in. He crosses the 40, the 30, the 20, the 15, and he is dragged out of bounds. That's at the 5, but I get the feeling this one's coming back.
Yeah, I think we had a crackback, or not a crackback, but a chop block on the right side. Yep.
Yeah, it will be a chop block, and that'll bring that big run for Stephenville back and set them back. We'll replay 2nd down, and that was near the line of scrimmage. Let's see where exactly they marked that, and it might bring up a 2nd and 13.
Connor Cummings out there on the left side of the defensive line, I think, is the one that got cut. He was engaged with a blocker. Another blocker came in and went low on him. Good thing that he didn't get hurt on that play. That's why that rule's in place, too, to protect the legs of these linemen when they're in there blocking.
The clock stops at 10:56 in the second quarter as that moves them behind the 50-yard line back in their own territory. Stephenville will now have to operate from their own 41-yard line.
Those penalties like that are drive killers.
2nd and 18. Renfro will roll out to the left, and he's going to be under pressure. He tries to escape to the right side, and Behl hits the ball out of his hands, and I think they're going to label that an incomplete pass, but it might not worry as flags come flying in afterwards, as Colby Cummings was also there for the end of the play pressure. Let's see how the officials are going to sort this one out.
Colby threw the quarterback to the ground after the ball was gone, and this is going to be a unnecessary roughness penalty on him.
Wow. So the Eagles catch a break with both personal fouls offsetting and brings up 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 18 because he did get that pass out. It didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, but I guess he was out of the pocket. I mean, there were a few things right there.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, there you
go.
go.
There's the roughing the passer, and then after the play, one of his linemen comes to his defense, and they both had some shoving going on. So the roughing the passer will stand, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, and then offsetting on the unsportsmanlike on both players. So
Well, that's a shame for the Eagles that's how that ends, because otherwise that was a very strong defensive play. And back in the Georgetown territory are Stephenville. They were pushed back because of penalties, and the Eagles pushed them back into the Georgetown territory because of penalties. 10:44 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspections second quarter. We're tied up at 7. And the officials taking a moment to...
Yeah, Coach Griffin's wanting a little better explanation about what just happened.
My question is, if that was an incomplete pass and not a fumble, then it didn't come anywhere close back to the line of scrimmage. How is that not intentional grounding?
Well, the referee can determine in his mind that throw was made like that because of the pressure and the lineman on him. So the errant throw may have actually been caused by the pressure itself, not the intent of the quarterback. So if that's what they determine.
Well, once everything's been settled, it's 1st and 10 for the Stephenville Yellowjackets from the Georgetown 44. Renfro drops back, finds a man at the 35-yard line, and he's able to fall forward. That's Grayson Treyweek, and Treyweek picks up the first down for Stephenville. Ball at the 32-yard line.
Those penalties can kill drives, but they can keep drives going too, and that's exactly what Georgetown just faced now.
Renfro in the shotgun. Phillips to his right. 1st and 10 from 33. Renfro's going to keep it after pulling it away on the zone read. Up the middle, tries to hurdle a defender, picks up the first down, gets into the red zone at the 17-yard line. It was McConnell finally getting to the stop for the Eagles.
And he's going to have to go out one play because whenever he finally got tackled, that helmet popped off, so he's got to come out.
Renfro exits the game, and in comes the backup quarterback, Cole Stanley. Stanley also doubles as a receiver, so he'll be moving behind center as another receiver comes into the game. They're communicating, actually, who's going to be under center, and it will be Stanley operating the offense. The officials start the clock back up at 10:20 after the chains are moved, and the play clock down to 18 seconds. There's a lot of confusion for Stephenville as Renfro had to leave the game.
Stephenville's got a good drive going now, and they hate that their quarterback has to come out. They could take a timeout, leave him in the game, but they don't want to do that at this point.
Eduardo Campos is the running back, and they just do a safe play, hand it off to Campos, and he will be brought down by Colby Cummings after a gain of 2 yards to the 15-yard line on a run up the middle. And now Renfro will come back in, and the clock will keep moving here at 9:40 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspection second quarter.
Those front three for the Eagle defensive line, they've got to start getting a push in there and start controlling this line of scrimmage again and shut down this game plan that Stephenville's throwing at them right now, which is being really effective.
Renfro in the pistol. Behind him is Campos. He clapped his hands for a dummy count, and now he gets a new play call from the sideline. 2nd and 7, ball at the 14-yard line in the red zone. It's a high snap that goes over his head into the backfield, and Renfro's just going to have to hop on top of it, and he loses yardage all the way back to the 33-yard line, and that's a unforced error that will be a killer on this drive and bring up 3rd and way long, as the yard to gain is the 7-yard line, and the ball was down at the 33. Could have been a lot worse for the Yellowjackets.
It could have, and the quarterback did a great job of just falling on that ball. He tried to pick it up initially, but then he just fell on it and took what he could get.
3rd and 26. Renfro will drop back, scans to the left, fires to the left. It's caught by Stanley at the 20-yard line, and he was able to take a couple steps to the 18. I beg your pardon, that was Gavin Roundtree who made the catch, but still 4th down coming up, and it'll be 4th and 11. And I think they're going to go for the field goal here.
Yeah, their kicker's got a big leg. I was watching him warm up before the game, and he's got a big leg, so could be a valuable weapon for the Yellowjackets tonight.
Morrison will attempt a 35-yard field goal. He gets the hold, and this one is shanked and will not get anywhere near the goalposts. And the Eagles catch a little bit of a break with that high snap that ends a pretty solid drive for the Yellowjackets. 7:52 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspection second quarter. and the Eagles will take over possession here with a tie ball game at 7. And you know, we talk about it, the Eagles offense trying to catch some kind of rhythm here. They were able to score on their first drive, haven't really been able to do too much since.
Yeah, and that's got to be deflating for the Yellowjackets to have that good of a drive. They get a break because their penalty didn't cost them, but then they get down here and some mental errors are what cost them down in the red zone, come away with no points on the board. That's just deflating for an offense.
They're going to spot the ball in the middle of the field. 1st and 10, ball at the 20-yard line following the missed field goal attempt. The Eagles with possession. Oldorf will hand it off to Edie. Edie up the middle, and he's able to get across the 25, gets a second push from his offensive line, and will get to the 28 for a gain of 8 yards on first down.
Edie got that momentum going a little bit forward, and the defenders weren't able to stop it, and a couple of the big uglies come in there and push that whole pile forward.
2nd and 2, 7:30 left in the second quarter. 2 receivers on both sides. Oldorf in the shotgun, Edie to his left. He pump fakes and drops back and fires deep down the left sideline on a back shoulder fade. It is caught, and coming down with it for the Eagles is Cade Lachlan. And that's a big play for the Eagles to try and pick up some momentum.
Cade ran a great route out there on the edge, and the corner came up and just bit hard on it on the fake, and Cade was wide open. Lead him a little bit more, and he's in the end zone.
1st and 10, Eagles in the Yellowjackets territory. Edie will get a handoff, trying to run behind his left side of the line and get a couple yards from the 45 to the 42. Call it the 42-yard line is where he's brought down. Clock keeps moving at 6:52 left in the second quarter.
This is the kind of push that Eagle offensive line needs right here. Just start controlling that line, start wearing down the defensive line for Stephenville, and start taking control of this game on this drive right here.
It's Darson Herman in the pistol. He has Edie behind him, play action. He drops back, and he's under pressure, and he's going to be sacked. Making the tackle is Austin Stidham, and that's a tackle for loss on the sack to the 46-yard line, a loss of 4, and some substitutions made for Georgetown here.
Out there on the coverage was a great job by the Stephenville cornerback on the right side, and Darson was looking deep, but he just had no place to go with the ball, and the protection just collapsed on him.
Dropping back is Herman, and it's a quarterback draw as he takes behind his left guard. He gets to the 40. He'll pick up about 6 yards, but that'll still bring up 3rd down.
Both those defenders that met him got knocked back whenever he ran into him. They made the tackle, but that hurt.
Beg your pardon, 4th down here, 4th and 6, and the Eagles are going to go for it here. Try and get into the end zone one more time before homecoming court, which will be aired here on SHN Sports. 4th and 6 from the 40. And it'll be a pooch punt as Herman steps back, and on the long snap, whistles blow this play dead. Let's see what the flag is about. It's usually a false start when they stop it, and it will be. And you might as well go ahead and bring out the full punting unit now, as that will go ahead and definitely make it where the Eagles will not go for it. They already kind of showed their hand there. The clock stops at 5:21 left to play until halftime.
Oh, those are the ones that just drive you crazy. Pre-snap penalties.
Fourth and 11 now. Ball at the 45-yard line. It'll be Gavin Roundtree back deep to receive this punt. It's Lachlan who sends it away. It takes a good Eagles bounce and will be fielded at the 4-yard line. Roundtree has to try and avoid a couple defenders. He was able to get it to the 10, but that'll pretty much be all he could get on the return. 5:03 left to play. Well, they didn't stop the clock, but 5 minutes left to play in the second quarter, and it keeps moving here on the change possession.
Yeah, they're going to have to reset that.
I think the officials just caught wind of it now.
Yeah, the coach is talking to them.
So it officially stops now at 4:49, but I get the feeling we said it was around 5:05 when it should have stopped. I wonder if they'll catch it, but 90 yards. 4:54, so they didn't quite catch it as early as we did. So
should be about 5:05, 5:06, something like that.
The the Yellowjackets catch a tough break as well as having 90 yards of field in front of them. It's been a competitive defensive battle as both teams were able to score on their first offensive series, and now the Yellowjackets start at their own 10. First and 10 for Renfro. He throws a swing pass out to Phillips, who catches it at the 5, and he will be undercut and brought down at the 12-yard line by John Miranda, and that will go ahead and only be a gain of 2 on first down.
Good pursuit out there on the edge to keep that gain down to nothing. Speedy little back out there catching that ball, but Georgetown did a good job of containing that.
Renfro will hand it off to Phillips, who stretched it out to the wide side of the field on the right side. He has a first down and more, crosses the 25, and then runs out of bounds. He was pushed out by Taco Williams, and the clock stops at 4:17. They also move the chains, a fresh set of downs. Good run by Phillips there.
Good quick running back there, and their running back and their quarterback are getting some looks from some colleges, and they were the ones that Georgetown's going to have to watch out for tonight.
First and 10 from the 28. Renfro will set up for a screen. It is completed, and Phillips will be brought down at the 35-yard line. So a gain of 6 yards on first down, and it was Connor Cummings who made the tackle for the Eagles.
Good chunk of this Stephenville offensive line is going both ways. Dave pointed that out to us, and you think they're going to get tired, but these guys are still moving people.
Second and 3, ball on the 35-yard line. It's Renfro out of the pocket as he tries to escape, picks up the first down with his legs as he angles out of bounds at the 40-yard line. He was pressured by Hunter Springer, but Eagles weren't able to get to him, and they also do a good job saving their timeouts. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left as the ball moves to the 40-yard line for a fresh set of downs. Yellowjackets still in their own territory.
Traditionally, when you hear Georgetown High School and Stephenville High School, you're thinking there's going to be a lot of points put on the board, but that just hadn't been the case tonight.
Renfro in the shotgun, Phillips to his left. Renfro will drop back, scans to his right. Under pressure, he escapes out to the left, fires down the field, and is bobbled, incomplete, intended for Grayson Treweek, and that falls incomplete, stopping the clock at 3:32. Matt Anderson with the pressure and a stop of play here as there's an injured player on the field. So 3:32 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspections second quarter. We're tied up at 7 between the Eagles and the Yellowjackets. We'll let the injured player be attended to, and we'll be back in a moment on SHN Sports with the Georgetown Eagles homecoming game here from Birkelbach Stadium.
Locally owned by Pam and Al Bartschmid, College Street Cottages is proud to offer vacation rentals in beautiful and historic Georgetown, Texas. With premium amenities and comfortably sized spaces, our cottages provide the best accommodations that Georgetown has to offer. All of the remodeled 1940s cottages include complete use of the entire house and yard, fenced backyard with seating, eating area, and a barbecue grill, convenient parking in front, and detached garages. For more information and to book, visit collegestreetcottages.com.
Well, the injured Yellow Jacket is helped off of the field. 3:32 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspections second quarter. I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall, David England down on the sidelines, Galen Welnecki and Nathan Height helping us up here in the booth. And with 3:32 left, we're ready to resume play. Second and 10 from the 40 in the second quarter. Yellow Jackets with the ball. Renfro in the shotgun. He has Eduardo Campos to his left, and now he'll change up the play as he goes to his line of scrimmage to let him know the details. Renfro in the shotgun. And another snap way over Renfro's head. He's going to have to try and come down with it, and he's going to look to try and throw this one away as he gets away from some pressure across the 15 to the 20, down the sideline, and hit as he tried to make the catch with Stanley. That'll be incomplete, but give credit to Renfro for doing something different this time around, able to make sure that wasn't a major loss. And now it looks like slow to get up was Morrison for the Yellowjackets, and that'll be 3rd and 10. Another official timeout here to stop play. We'll keep it here. 3:19 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspections second quarter. And man, another potentially disastrous snap over the head could have ended another productive Yellow Jacket drive.
Yeah, Renfro had to pick up that ball, and I thought he was going to try to fall on it again, but he was able to scoop it up with defenders right on his heels, rolled out to his right, got out to the numbers, and I too thought he was going to throw it away. But when he got out to the numbers, he pulled up, and he was looking for an open man.
Another snap over his head. I'm not kidding. And this time he just throws this one out of bounds. And man, that will stop the clock at 3:13 left in the second quarter and bring out the punting unit. But some issues there with the exchange. You might have to just go ahead and go back to the traditional under center and make it safe.
Well, he went straight back on that. He was not outside the tackle boxes when he threw that away. They could have called him for an intentional grounding because he went straight back. He didn't go outside the tackle boxes, but they didn't throw the flag, so Stephenville's forced to punt. Gives Georgetown plenty of time to do something with the football.
For Stephenville.
It's De La Rosa and Lachlan back deep to receive the punt from Morrison, and this is a booming punt, and it'll go back into the end zone for a touchback with 3:05 left to play in the Courtney Home Inspection second quarter. We're tied at 7. Georgetown's going to have to pull out their end of half offense here to try and get into the end zone quickly, as the ball will be placed at the 20-yard line.
That was a 60-yard punt from the line of scrimmage. He was 10 yards back, so he kicked that ball 70 yards in the air.
Well, that's one way to flip the field on him.
Yeah. Goodness. And the wind's not even blowing that hard based on a couple of the flags.
Oldorp in the pistol. He'll hand it off to Edie, and he'll keep it actually. Go around right in, confuse the defense and confuse the broadcaster as he picks up 4 yards on first down. 2nd and 6 coming up. The clock keeps moving here at 2:50 left to play in the second quarter, and Oldorp will keep it rolling here. 2nd and 6 from the 24. He'll drop back. Oldorp sends it out to the flats. It's caught by Bradford across the 25-yard line, and he'll get to the 29, a yard short of the yards a gain. And both teams have all 3 timeouts left. Eagles electing not to use it here as we pass the 2:30 mark of the Courtney Home Inspection second quarter.
I thought we might start seeing some more of those quick hitters on the pass game. They had success early in the first quarter with it.
3rd and 1 here. Oldorp in the pistol will hand it off. Edie is hitting the backfield for a loss as he's brought down by Akamazo, and that will be a loss of 2 yards. And now I think we have a timeout called by the Yellowjackets. Stephenville does take a timeout with 2:03 left to play in the second quarter, and we'll take the timeout with them. Tied at 7, and the Eagles will have to punt it away when we come back from their own 27-yard line here on SHN Sports production of the Georgetown Eagles homecoming game.
Now that's the sound of Eagle football. While the Eagles deliver on the field, Extraco delivers off the field. Whether it's opening up a small business, growing your business, retirement, or something simpler, we'll work with you to make it a reality. Let's build some dreams. Tell us your dreams at extracobanks.com. Extraco Banks is a member FDIC.
We are back here with 2:03 left to play in the second quarter. Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. The Eagles will have to punt this one away, as waiting back deep is Gavin Roundtree, and not too deep, as Roundtree is just a couple steps behind the 45-yard line. This one's sent away by Lachlan, and a fair catch called for by Roundtree. A yard short of midfield at the 49-yard line. Stephenville will start there in their own territory. Tied at 7. 2-minute drill is on, Kelly.
The kicker for Stephenville, we talked about it earlier, flipped the field. They're able to get a 3-and-out. 2:03 left in the half, and they're just off of midfield. Plenty of time for Stephenville to try to put some points on the board. So that Georgetown defense really needs to stiffen their necks and stop this drive, keep it 7-7. Let's go to the half tied, but they got some work to do.
And good eyes by Galen Walnecki up here. Caleb Smith was the injured player early on. That is the center for the Stephenville Yellowjackets, and they are running with their backup center in there. That is Zach Ramos, and that's why you have those high snaps. Looks like he got it down this time as Renfro will run the option to the left side. He pitches it back. Phillips will go ahead and take it and get to the 43-yard line in Eagles territory for a gain of 8 yards on first down. Bazile is the one who makes the push out of bounds, and 2nd and 2 coming up as they enter Eagle territory with 1:57 as the clock stops.
Good awareness by Phillips to get out of bounds and save those timeouts. You may need them. The whole field's open now.
Renfro on 2nd and 2. He'll drop back, pass deep down the field, down the sideline, and out of bounds, incomplete because he did come down with it. That was Gavin Roundtree, but nice coverage by the Eagles to converge on that one and make it a hard catch. To throw a little bit out to the left side, and that'll be a incomplete pass that stops at 1:49.
He did get 1 foot down in bounds, but unfortunately his first foot down was out of bounds, so that's out.
3rd and 2nd from the Eagle 43. A zone read. The ball hit in the air. It's intercepted by an Eagle. Across the 50, the 40, nobody in front of him. The 30, the 20, the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown Eagles. Taylor Behl puts the Eagles ahead for the first time this evening.
Great job out there on the tip drill. Eagle defense did a great job of shutting this down. Now talking about the field being flipped. Great job by the Eagle defense. Put points on the board. Put the Eagles up. Great way to end this half for the Eagles.
The point after attempt here. Diaz will come out to send it away. Fithian will be the holder.
I love being up here next to the coaches because they get all excited jumping around in the press box.
Yeah, they get about as excited as anybody.
Yeah. You can tell who the defensive coaches were in the box on that play. They're the ones dancing on the table.
Matt Diaz for the point after attempt. 50 in the hole, put down. Diaz sends it through, and the Eagles take a 14-7. No good, I beg your pardon. Looked good from my angle, but the officials right down there had the better view, and the Eagles still have a 13-7 lead. 1:38 left to play in the second quarter, and the first lead of the evening for the Eagles. We are going to take a break here on the Courtney Home Inspections second quarter. 13-7 your score until halftime, 1:38.
Matt Morrow of Gateway Mortgage Group is a proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. As one of the country's largest privately held mortgage companies, you can expect smart solutions to meet nearly any mortgage need. From the right products to great rates and technology that powers it all, you'll find it here. Gateway Mortgage Group, your local residential lender. Borrow from Morrow. Visit them online at borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
13-7 now the score as the Eagles have the defensive help get them on the scoreboard, and with 1:38 left, it'll be Diaz kicking this one away. Cade Cowen back deep to receive, as it'll be a short charge, but a deep kick from Diaz, taken by Cohen at the 11-yard line. He tries to take it in the middle of the field, cuts down the 15, across the 20 to the 30. He has to beat 2 defenders, and then he's brought down at the 45-yard line, finally by Braden Wilson, but a great return to set up the Yellowjackets for their final 1:28.
Got a little nervous on that return when he cut it across the grain, went across the field, and there was some room out there, but fortunately they got him stopped. We'll see if this defense can stop this drive that Stephenville's about to start on and hold them to a lead when we go into the halftime.
Renfro in the shotgun. Phillips behind him, set up in the pistol. It will be a handoff to Campos, I beg your pardon. Campos gets behind his right tackle and picks up a first down, gain of 11 on first down. The clock stops at 1:21 to move the chains as the Yellowjackets take it to the Eagles' 42-yard line.
Stephenville's got plenty of time and 3 timeouts, so this defense can't sleep.
Defense just picked up a score with Behl taking it for a pick 6. Renfro will drop back and scramble out of the pocket on 1st and 10. Fires it off the fingertips on the pass to Gavin Roundtree on the sideline. And incomplete pass stops at 1:03. And as you said, they have all 3 timeouts left. So, the option to keep it inbounds is not something that they're afraid of, as they could just hit a quick slant or something along those lines.
Whole field's in play, and on that last play, Renfro had Georgetown defenders bearing down on Matt Anderson, was hot on his trail, and he fortunately looked up. That may be why that ball floated a little bit.
It's an option to pitch out to Campos. Campos takes to the right side, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 39-yard line by Behl. And that will bring up 3rd and 5 here. The clock stopped at 57 seconds.
Good football game. I love these games.
Oh, yeah, it's a good football game. Trying to tie it up or take the lead here are the Yellowjackets. Renfro will drop back on 3rd and 5. We'll have plenty of time, and then the play was blown dead. Flags come in. Usually this is in the area of a false start. See what the official has to say. If he can get his mic working. So it will be a false start that backs him up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 10. The ball at the 42-yard line, and an interesting formation at the 50 here. Was that a huddle? I haven't seen a huddle in a while in this game.
In high school, I didn't know they knew what that was.
2 receivers stacked on both sides. The crowd gets loud for 3rd and 10 from the 42. Renfro on a quarterback draw tries to find space into the secondary. Tries to hurt a little defender, and he might be at the 1st down yard to gain. The officials will give it to him. So a pickup of 10 yards as it was a good run there by the quarterback, and as Renfro showed off a little athleticism, he keeps this drive alive. They're electing not to use timeouts. 35 seconds left. Trips to the right. Renfro in the shotgun. He'll drop back, scans to the right. Rolls out now. Under pressure, he's going to tuck it and run across the 30 to the 20, down the right sideline to 15. He's shoved out of bounds around the 15, and they'll give him the 15. Matt Anderson doing the honors for the Eagles to into that play, but 20 seconds left. Into the red zone go Stephenville, and they have an option. They have an opportunity here to tie this ball game up.
Renfro's got that clock in his head, and boy, he's so athletic, and he does a great job of anticipating that the defenders are on him.
Timeout here called by the Eagle defense, and probably a good call by Coach Griffin here. 20 seconds left. Give him a breather, get under control, and maybe put a spy on Renfro the way he's been able to do some stuff with his legs.
Yeah, he's the one that's really hurt this Eagle defense, if anybody's been able to. Galen Welnicki, our statistician specialist, will have those stats for us at halftime, but he's their weapon. Their running back has had some success, not as much as they want, but Renfro is a special kind of athlete, and it really shows. His awareness, his vision of the field, his athleticism is really showing out there, and it's causing the Eagles some problems.
Well, 20 seconds until the Rob Hip Insurance halftime show. It's 13-7. Eagles lead the Yellowjackets, but the Yellowjackets in the red zone at the 14-yard line. Don't go anywhere at halftime. We obviously have homecoming court, as it is homecoming game for the Georgetown Eagles, and we also have an interview with you and Jason Dean, the Georgetown athletic director and former head coach of the Eagles.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to talk to Coach Dean, tell him hello. Also, it's going to be interesting to hear what Dave can get from Coach Griffin before they go to the locker room.
Renfro under pressure. He's going to escape out of the pocket of the right side. Fires and hits a receiver in stride into the end zone. Touchdown, Stephenville, as it was Phillips who came down with the catch and a 14-yard touchdown on a nice play by Renfro, who was able to extend it as he was under pressure and still keep his eyes down the field.
Boy, that is not what you wanted. Georgetown had some momentum with that interception return for a touchdown. Matt Anderson is limping around a little bit, so we got guys on both sides of the football limping.
Morrison will kick for the point after attempt. That one is good, and the Yellowjackets take a 14-13 lead. 12 seconds left in the Courtney home inspection second quarter. And, man, give all the credit to Kaden Renfro on that drive. They started at the 10, and he methodically, with about 2 minutes left, worked them down 90 yards for this 1-point lead with 12 seconds left in the second quarter.
That kick return set them up nicely.
That's right.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon. This was the kick return play.
Right.
The previous one was ended in a pick six.
Right.
Yes, and this one was the one that was a kick return that set them up.
Yeah, it set them up nicely, and Renfro just methodically moved this team down the field, wasn't worried about the clock. They still haven't burned their timeouts. The receivers, the running backs, and Renfro did a good job of getting out of bounds, doing what they needed to do to keep that clock on their side, tick it down. So Georgetown's only got 12 seconds. I would imagine they're going to kneel on this ball, go to halftime, regroup, and come out fighting both teams in the second half.
I imagine that'll be the general game plan here as Morrison gets ready to send this one away. 12 seconds left in the second quarter. Yellowjackets with a 1-point lead, 14-13 over the Eagles. It's been an entertaining game, very competitive on all phases of the ball. Morrison lines this up as the Stephenville players try to get their fans involved. Morrison will take a 5-yard charge from the 35, kicks it away at the 40. This one's a booming kick. This one's going to be a touchback. Not even an opportunity for the Eagles to return it. And I think you're right in the sense that the Eagles are going to just go ahead and take this into the locker rooms. They received the kickoff, but it was an onside kick to start the game, so the Yellowjackets actually got first possession and scored on the first play. If you're just joining us back in the Glenn Patterson Realtor first quarter, it was tied at 7 here in the second quarter until a defensive touchdown by the Eagles in which the point after attempt was missed, and then the Yellowjackets on the most previous possession were able to score 7, and it will be a kneeling position here for the Eagles. And as the Eagles take the knee, that will send us into the locker rooms and into the Rob Hipp Insurance halftime show. So, as the final seconds tick on the Courtney home inspection second quarter, your score at the half, 14-13. We're going to go ahead and send it down to David England. David, what do you got for us?
Coach, aside from that last score, you've got to be really happy with your defense. Get your thoughts on this first half. There's a little bit of everything.
It's a good football game. You know, they surprised us early with a little side kick and head on a little trick play. So we got to overcome that. I think defensively, a little football game. You know, good.
All right, good luck, Coach.
All right, thank you, David. That was Coach Chuck Griffin on the sidelines. We are going to go ahead and take a quick break here during the Rob Hipp Insurance halftime show. When we come back, Jason Dean will be interviewed by Kelly Duvall, and then a little later in halftime, we're going to have the homecoming court. We'll air all of that live here on SHN Sports. We'll be back in a moment with more conversations of football, and then more football not too long after. Start your clock as we do here at halftime. 28 minutes until the start of the third quarter, but don't go anywhere on SHN Sports.
If you're looking to buy or sell a home or land in the Georgetown area, call Glenn Patterson Realtor. As a third-generation resident of Williamson County, his knowledge will assure you will receive the best price for your purchase or sell. Don't wait. Contact Glenn today at PattersonPropertiesTX.com. Jimmy Jacobs' reputation for building beautiful custom homes in Central Texas speaks for itself. For over 30 years, he has been behind some of the most successful and sought-after new home developments in Georgetown. Grand Endeavor Homes represents a new era of elegant custom home building. Now joined by his son, Justin Jacobs, Jimmy has launched Grand Endeavor Homes to continue his legacy and reputation for custom homes in Georgetown and the surrounding areas. Visit GrandEndeavorHomes.com for details and directions to the model home.
The most important team member isn't always playing in the game. Sometimes they hold a clipboard on the sideline. A good coach doesn't just call plays. They instill confidence in the individual and help the team overcome adversity. At Frost, we believe that good coaching in your financial life can accomplish the same thing. After all, if we believe in you and you believe in you, anything is possible. Frost. Opt for optimism.
2019 high school football on SHN Sports is proudly presented by Georgetown Jewelry. Georgetown Jewelry is your trusted local jewelry store, family owned and operated since 2013. Whether you desire a one-of-a-kind custom piece or want to enjoy browsing our inventory of both unique and traditional jewelry and watches, stop by and see us at Georgetown Jewelry. We also specialize in jewelry repair and appraisals. For more information, please visit Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center in Georgetown, or online at georgetownjewelry.com. Central Texas High School football on SHN Sports is made possible by Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company. 3 words describe Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company: simple, reliable, and awesome. We support our community. From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products, Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company helps put your brand on your business. Get started on your project today by getting a quick and easy quote online at georgetownshirtcompany.com. If you or your family couldn't work for 6 to 12 months due to a serious illness or major accident, how would that affect you or your family financially? Hi friends, I'm Rob Hipp. I offer products that can help during the tough and unforeseen times. For more information, please call me directly at 512-522-9105. Again, that number is 512-522-9105. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a proud supporter of Central Texas high school football. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based, nonprofit 501c3 Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addiction. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel. That light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, please visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. Proud to have Coach Jason Dean in the booth with us. Coach, welcome, the athletic director now for GISD. Talk about the change a little bit. Thanks for coming up, too.
You bet, Kelly. Thanks for having me, man. It's always good to get a chance to visit with you guys, and certainly appreciate y'all and, all you do for GISD and, all y'all do for our kids and athletic teams. I know the folks that can't be here at the game certainly enjoy being able to get home and get a quality broadcast because you guys, and we certainly appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Coach. We're glad to do it. So you came up from the sidelines, and now you're running the athletics for the district. Talk about that change a little bit.
Yeah, it's been different. I tell you what, I started right around mid-March, this last year, and I tell people I'm drinking from a fire hose every day.
I bet.
Learning a lot. I tell Coach York, Todd York, the athletic director that left here and went to Midlothian, did a great job for us for 5 years. I tell him when he sees his phone ringing, I'm not calling to check on his day. I need some help. I need to know how to do something. So he's always great about answering his phone. And obviously I've got some other friends around the state that are athletic directors I call and get advice from. It's been great. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. Love the ladies in the office, Kim Hahn and Julie Crooks, and just added Vicki Williams. They do a tremendous job, just keeping the day-to-day operations of our office running smooth, and they know so much more about how an athletic office ought to run than I ever will. They just do a great job. So really surrounded with good people, that are very smart at their jobs and know what they're doing. Let me get my feet wet and kind of learn, what to do and how to do it. But certainly enjoying what I'm doing.
There's so many balls to keep in the air as the athletic director. Talk about some of the changes that have taken place in the district just since March.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize is the athletic director is in charge of both high schools. Obviously,
right.
We've also got 4 middle schools that we're in charge of, and got lots and lots of kids there that doing a great job at our middle schools and lots of athletic programs. But we got 138 coaches in the district.
Good night.
And just so everybody understands, that's also 138 teachers
right.
In the district that are all teaching another subject of some kind along with their coaching duties. So it's a lot of moving parts. Like you talked about to make sure that it's running smooth, and our kids are getting the support that they need, and our coaches are getting the support that they need to do great things. So just between the 2 high schools, you got 15 different sports. At each one of the high schools and each one of those head coaches, and so you kind of break it down. We've got 4 great coordinators at each middle school. Got a boys coordinator and a girls coordinator at both Eastview High School and Georgetown High School, and they're kind of my go-to guys, and girls to help get information, down to the those 138 people. So we've got a system set up. I think it's pretty effective. One of the things that I want at the end of this deal when I'm done is. I want people to be able to say, Coach Dean was a great communicator. I want to be able to communicate well. Don't always, make the best decisions, and you're looking back on stuff and you learn a lot and you realize you probably could have made a different decision here or there. But I do want people to say that, we did a great job of communicating. So, hopefully that's what we're getting. Hopefully that's what we're getting.
Well, and as we see newscasts and we check the internet, we're seeing a lot of success in GISD athletics. Right now, the Eastview football team's having a great season. Georgetown football team's having a great season. Volleyball's doing really well. So there's a lot of success in the athletic programs with these kids.
There is. Like you mentioned, both of our football teams are undefeated. Going into tonight, our volleyball teams are both being very successful. Doing really, really well. Cross country at both schools are doing excellent. So everything that's going right now is doing a great job. And somebody asked me, what does the day-to-day operations of this job look like, and really the day-to-day stuff of this job is really 3 months in advance. That's
right.
We just had our first head basketball coaches meeting. I've got my head wrestling coach meeting starting next week.
Right. And
so really everything that's rolling now, I mean that's of months of preparation throughout the summer and through the spring to get this stuff going like it should. And then I always said as a head football coach, man, if you could just get to the first game, everything's gravy after that.
Right.
There's just so much work that goes in on the front end of it, and it's the same way in this deal. You get season started, and then you're kind of out of the mix on that season, and you're already off to the next thing, trying to get that thing so that it's going to be off to a good start. So, like I said, it takes lots of great people, and we got Georgetown's very fortunate to have some folks that have been here for a very long time, know how the Georgetown community operates, knows what our community expects, and I fully believe it's a community of excellence. And I think we're certainly seeing that on our fields and courts, with our athletic teams too.
And it's always fun to watch these kids succeed. I'm starting to be able to say I've known you a long time now, but we see these kids grow up in this community, and on the football side play Papa Warner and watch them grow through the middle schools and up now, and then to see this success has to bring you some joy just watching these kids succeed like they have.
It does. Again, my heart is with coaches. I fully believe that coaches got a chance to change kids' lives. Lots and lots of Georgetown kids have really, really good moms and dads at home that do a great job taking care of them and want the coach to come along beside them and help them, raise a good young person. And then there's some of them that don't have a mom and dad, at all, really at home that they're struggling just to get by, and they don't have a lot of time to invest, in that student athlete's life. And so that's when that coach, instead of coming along beside somebody, maybe they're even, getting out front, with that young person and taking that role. So, I think I love coaches, and I love coaches because I think they got a chance to really help kids, and it's great being in a place where we're allowed to do that.
So it sounds kind of like with the new job as the athletic director for GISD, sounds like it's one of those situations, the old saying, you don't know till you know.
Yeah.
And how could you possibly prepare for everything that you've got to deal with until you're sitting in that seat?
Well, you can't. Like I said, Coach York did a great job leaving me good notes, and I've got a stack of. Coach York was a big folder guy.
Right.
He left me a stack of folders.
Yeah.
Sitting there with different things. But you don't. You just got to get in there and do it. Make mistakes along the way. But like I said, surround yourself with really good people. They're going to help you get the information that you need and be able to get it out to your folks. But it's like I said, it's been great. I'm enjoying. For me personally, I'm enjoying a little bit more family time. I'm at home, now on the weekends.
You just got to my next question.
Yeah, it's I did this job for 22 years, being a football coach, and my wife, bless her heart, she took the bulk of raising our family, especially during football season.
Right.
And I get to be home, more and be around those, especially on the weekends. I've got a son that's playing his first year of tackle football, in Papa Warner, and I haven't missed a game. And had I still been coaching, I wouldn't have seen a game,
right.
Yet. So that's special. Got a daughter that that plays soccer and get to go watch her play on the weekends. And I'm not sure the general public understands how much a coach works, during the season. And I know everybody works hard and everybody's got a lot of things to do. But a coach during the season is really raising other people's kids, and somebody else, sometimes yours, get left behind.
Right.
And so I'm certainly enjoying getting to be home and be a dad a little bit more, especially on the weekends, and be around my kids.
Well, and what do you miss about Friday night? You miss anything about being down there?
I'll tell you this, I don't miss a 13 to 14 game, I promise you. Those make your stomach hurt.
Oh, I know.
And
I can imagine.
Put gray hairs in my beard. So, obviously the just the pageantry, that I think that comes along with, a Friday night football game. As you and I are sitting out here looking at literally thousands of people, sitting in the stands. It's not like this everywhere.
Right.
It's not special like this everywhere. And so, I miss that. I mean, that's fun. Getting out there on Friday night, that part's fun.
Yeah.
But I think my dad called me on the very first day of practice. Like I said, it's the first time in 22 years that I haven't, been out there on the field. And Dad said, "All right, first day, how you making it?" And I said, "Dad, it's 108, outside right
I'm making
now.
it fine.
And I'm doing fine right now.
Right.
This office is about 75 degrees, so." But you do miss the fun stuff,
Right.
You miss the Friday nights, and you miss the celebrating with kids, and I say you even miss loving on a kid that just lost a heartbreaker. You miss that too. So the kids are what makes it special. The coaching office is what makes it special, and then obviously getting to come out here and compete on a stage like this, that makes it special.
Well, Coach, you've served Georgetown High School for many, many years, and specifically and now GISD as the athletic director, and we appreciate what you've done for all these kids. And, I had a kid that played for you some, and we get to see what the coaches do a little more intimately than a lot of people get to see, and it's so good. And exactly what you were talking about, I got to interview Mike Adams, new wide receiver coach, lifetime Longhorn. And when I was asking him about the transition to the new school, he said exactly what you said, the community. Not everybody has this.
Yeah. when I was trying to hire new coaches, and even in this role, trying to hire new head coaches, to come and serve at either Georgetown High School or Eastview, either one, and you're trying to tell them, all right, what's special about this community? Man, it's just Georgetown is still a very small town. Although we have 2 5A high schools, and you got 4 middle schools that are busting at the seams, and you look out and we're building houses and communities all across our town. Georgetown is still a very small town. It's got a great little square, and you're still going to be able to go get barbecue somewhere, and you're still going to know people when you're walking down the street, and know people in your neighborhood. I mean, that's what makes Georgetown special, and I fully believe that, and I think our schools are at the heart of that, and it's a neat place to raise a family.
It is. It's a great community. I love this town. I tell people all over the place I'll be buried in this town.
Yeah.
Love this town. Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up and joining us. Congratulations on the new position. And we on a personal note, we appreciate you making SHN feel like part of the family. You always have since we've been broadcasting for Georgetown and for Eastview. And we appreciate what you do, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, we'll do it, man. Like I said, I certainly appreciate y'all. Y'all bring I think y'all help that small town feel. We're working with our friends, in SHN and what you guys bring to the table, and it's a unique experience that I don't think a lot of radio broadcasts, do. Rob and those guys, that they have always said that they want to, make it about the kids, make it about the student athletes, and I can certainly tell, that you guys do that, and just do a great job of promoting our teams and giving a quality broadcast, and hopefully the Eagles are going to be able to, pull one out here tonight. We'll see.
Well, I appreciate you coming up and taking the time to join us, Coach.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, and best of luck in the future.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
Folks, that's Jason Dean, Athletic Director for Georgetown Independent School District. We'll be right back on SHN to continue the halftime festivities. We will be broadcasting all of the festivities and announcements of homecoming king and queen in the court, so stay with us. We'll be right back. This is SHN Sports.
Their escorts. First, our 2019 Queen nominees. Representing choir is Jenna Renfro, escorted by Brandon Renfro. Representing volleyball is Emery Herman, escorted by Kyle Herman. Representing band is Claire McCoy, escorted by Terry McCoy. Representing baseball is Channing McGee, escorted by Michael McGee. Representing girls basketball is Mackenzie Luton, escorted by Preston Luton. Representing tennis is Kenna Schreiber, escorted by Christy Schreiber. Now please welcome our 2019 King nominees. Representing volleyball is Taylor Behl, escorted by Jamie Behl. Representing HOSA is Kyle Hammonds, escorted by Kelly Hammonds. Representing baseball is Brandon McLean, escorted by Deanna McLean. Representing choir is Michael Fogg, escorted by Ann Fogg. Representing tennis is Ethan Walters, escorted by Mark Kuba. And representing band is Scott Washburn, escorted by Angela Washburn. Our homecoming queen will be presented with a beautiful bouquet of flowers given by the DHS Alumni Association. The homecoming queen will be crowned by our principal, Ryan Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a thunderous round of applause for our 2019 Georgetown High School Homecoming King, representing baseball, Brandon McLean. Congratulations. And now, the 2019 Georgetown High School Homecoming Queen is representing volleyball, Emery Herman. Congratulations. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And remember, Eagle Fight never dies.
the end of the Rob Hip Insurance halftime show. I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall, Doug Clark, Nathan Hike, Galen Wanecki helping us up here in the booth. David England down on the sidelines giving us updates. And Galen provided you some halftime stats, Kelly.
He did. We've got first downs. Stephenville had 14 first downs in the first half to Georgetown 6. Rushing yardage with Stephenville, 16 rushes for 89 yards. Georgetown had 18 rushes for 66 yards. Passes, Stephenville was 8 out of 16 pass attempts with 1 interception for 107 yards in the air. Georgetown had 10 attempts, 8 completions, no interceptions for 99 yards. Total plays, 32 plays for Stephenville for 196 yards, 26 plays for Georgetown for 165 yards. Stephenville fumbled the ball once, but maintained possession of it. Georgetown had no fumbles in that first half. Penalty-wise, Stephenville was penalized 5 times for 55 yards. Georgetown 2 for 20. And then there were 3 punts by Stephenville and 3 punts by Georgetown as well. In that second quarter, Georgetown only had 11 plays and 1 first down compared to 28 plays for Stephenville in the second quarter. So Stephenville took control of the clock, took control of the offense, and held on to the ball for quite a while.
Yeah, it was certainly a methodical series of offensive possessions from Cade, Renfro, and the Yellowjackets, as electing to defer were the Yellowjackets in the first half, and now we got an update from the sideline. Not sure what the status is on Matt Diaz, but warming up and then now going to kick it away for the Eagles is Corey Coleman. Coleman will go ahead and place the ball at the 40-yard line, and they put 12 minutes on the clock for the start of the third quarter. It is the Royce Electric third quarter. Georgetown trailing by 1, 14-13. Stephenville, the Yellowjackets, with the lead, and the officials are the only thing holding things up at the moment as they go ahead and clear the way for the Eagles to get started here as we start the second half from Birkelbach Field. It's homecoming, and as homecoming court was just announced moments ago on SHN, here is the kickoff from Coleman, and he sends this one back deep. Fielding it at the 12 is Treyweek. Treyweek takes it down the 15-yard line as he flips the sides. Down the numbers on the 20. A flag comes in as he runs out of bounds at around the 30, but that flag is in the area of a block in the back, Kelly, and it looks like that solid return might end up being in a pretty deep spot of the field.
Going to be a blindside block down there on that coverage, and that's one of the rules that was implemented recently, not only in high school and college, but in the pros as well, trying to protect these players from those blindside blocks that we grew up watching that were so devastating.
Blind drop block, number 10, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
And I know the coaches aren't happy about that. It's a physical game, but they are trying to protect the players.
Yeah, and that's the officials' jobs at the end of the day, is to make sure that the players are protected. And in this particular case, it cost the Yellowjackets a solid return, which, as obviously you never know how it would have done had that penalty not taken place. And now they will start the drive at their own 8-yard line.
They lost 30 or 40 yards on that.
And the officials clearing some debris from out of the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10, ball on the 8-yard line, Stephenville in their own territory. It's a swing pass out to the right side from Renfro to Phillips. Phillips able to evade one tackle, cuts back to the right hash mark and gets across the 10, picks up about 4 yards, and it was a tackle made by Hans Cook for the Eagles.
Georgetown did a good job of stringing that out, but Phillips was able to cut that back against the grain and had some running room, gained 5 yards when it looked like initially he wasn't going to have anything.
2nd and 5, clock moving at 11:30 left in the third quarter here as we're just getting underway. It's a play action, a pass out of the flats. It's caught, and then it'll be a first down picked up by Gavin Roundtree as he gets past the 20-yard line, and Aaron Bazile is the one who pushes him out of bounds, and a fresh set of downs for Stephenville as they try to work off some of that penalty yardage.
They're mixing it up, both sides moving from the left to the right, middle of the field, so their play calling is really interesting.
And it is a run around the left end and being held up for no gain on first down. That was Kaden Cowen, and that'll go ahead and bring up 2nd and 9. They gave him half a yard on that rush, and nice job there to bottle up the run.
It was. They stuffed it nice and strong, so they got to follow that up now.
2nd and 9. It'll be another handoff, and then a ball comes loose as Cade Cowen was hit pretty hard, and the ball came loose thanks to Taylor Behl, and he was able to get back on it, and that sets up a 3rd and 5.
Good pursuit out there. If Taylor's not there, not where he needs to be, and it was kind of like he was spying the ball carrier, but he got out there and made a good play, so it's 3rd and long now for Stephenville.
3rd and long, ball on the 22-yard line. It's play action. Renfro with plenty of time. He fires a strike, and it's a first down and more as it's Gavin Trewy ganks down the left side, and he flips the field to the Georgetown side of the field to the 34-yard line. Trent McConnell saves it from going to the end zone.
Missed tackle there for Georgetown defender, would have still been a first down, but he gained 30 more yards after contact because he was able to fight through that first tackle, got downfield, and Stephenville's in business.
1st and 10 from the 31. It's a play action, a pass on the flats. Morrison gets the catch, and he gets across the 20. Stephenville in the red zone, and that's a gain of 13 on first down. A tackle made by Taco Williams, and a new set of downs for Stephenville.
Taco did a good job out there because Morrison had a head of steam on him, but they were able to stop him, corral him.
Play action from Renfro. He's going to keep it himself. Run around right in, scrambles into the 5, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Yellowjackets.
Renfro was just determined. Whenever he got there and he saw it was him and the safety, he was going to win that one. He's a big kid, 6'5", 195 according to their roster, and he's going up against the safety that's under 6 feet tall and 175 pounds.
So Trace Morrison will kick the point after attempt, and he sends that one through the uprights and good. The Yellowjackets add on one more after picking up 6 points. It's 21-13, and Georgetown's trying to avoid its first loss of the season here on homecoming. I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. It is the Royce Electric third quarter. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Locally owned by Pam and Al Bartschmid, College Street Cottages is proud to offer vacation rentals in beautiful and historic Georgetown, Texas. With premium amenities and comfortably sized spaces, our cottages provide the best accommodations that Georgetown has to offer. All of the remodeled 1940s cottages include complete use of the entire house and yard, fenced backyard with seating, eating area, and a barbecue grill, convenient parking in front, and detached garages. For more information and to book, visit collegestreetcottages.com.
(21-13) is your new score here. 9:20 left to play in the third quarter. The ensuing kickoff following the Yellowjackets score will have Lachlan back deep with Brendan Bradford to receive the kickoff. Morrison, who just sent through the extra point, will go ahead and kick this one away from the 40-yard line as the Stephenville Yellowjackets were the first ones to strike in the second half on their first possession of the third quarter. This one sent high in the air, end over ends, taken by Bradford at the 10. Down the numbers on the right side. He has room down to 30, the 35-40, and he is down just shy of the 45, and I think the officials will mark it actually officially down at the 42. So go ahead and say that that is a good return to get things rolling for this Eagle offense. They need it trailing 21-13.
Carl, this Eagle offense is going to have to get something going. We got a penalty.
Holding, number 39 on the return team. 10-yard penalty to first down.
Yeah, and that holding kind of sparked that second half of the return. And similar to the Yellowjackets, the Eagles are going to have to bounce back from a penalty, moving them back on the return.
They absolutely are, Carl. And Galen just let me know the count is now 18-6 in first downs for Stephenville.
Oldorp in the shotgun. Behind him is Edie, and it's a play action. Oldorp's going to keep it and try and run behind his right guard as he had to scramble. He was able to pick up a few yards to the 17-yard line and call it 2nd and 6 coming up for Georgetown as they're trying to answer back from the Stephenville touchdown.
It's good to see Jordan back in there. He was hurting a little bit in the first half, limping around some, but he's back out on the field, doesn't seem to be affected by it.
Oldorp moves Edie from behind him to his left. Single receiver on the right side, 2 to the left. It's play action and a ball tipped in the air, almost intercepted by a couple Yellowjackets trying to converge on it. Instead, it falls incomplete as it hits the turf, and 3rd and 6 from the 17 coming up.
Dangerous pass there by Oldorp. It's one of those timing routes, but Stephenville was all over it, and whenever Jordan released the ball, he was trying to throw it between 2 defenders, and they did a good job of knocking it down. Almost intercepted.
8:33 left to play in the Royce Electric third quarter, and it's a big third down for Georgetown. They want to avoid a 3-and-out. Oldorp drops back. He fires it deep down the sideline and overthrows the intended receiver, Fithian, and that will go ahead, Corey Coleman, and that will go ahead and be an incomplete, bringing up 4th down. 3 seconds come off the clock. 8:27 left in the third, and the Eagles have a 3-and-out on their first offensive possession in the third quarter.
On this next break after this punt, we may be able to get a quick interview in with Jackson Siosen. I think Dave's got him down there with him. Former quarterback for the Georgetown Eagles.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and send it out here in a minute as we have this punt fielded by Gavin Roundtree at the 48-yard line. He called for the fair catch, and that'll be where the Yellowjackets start this drive, and we'll go ahead and kick it down to David real quick. David, you got with us?
Carl Kelly, we've got quarterback Jackson Siosen and pitcher Jackson Siosen. He's now in college playing for Temple Junior College. How's it going up there, Jackson?
It's going real good. Playing ball, having a lot of fun, and enjoying the college life.
Are you missing the football a little bit down here at Georgetown?
Oh, for sure. I've been missing football. I've been watching the film, and I've been trying to keep up with the football team and see how things are going, and I'm sure miss it a lot.
I was a pitcher, so it was so watching y'all go all the way to state in the baseball. Tell us about your memories on that.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Sadly I got hurt, but it was still a blast being able to be with the guys and by their side and the whole way there and watch them succeed and get all the way to state. It was unbelievable, and it was just amazing. It's good to see you, Dave.
On 1st and 10, Campos picked up 3 yards, and then here on 2nd down, Stanley catches it to gain a couple more towards the Eagles' 45, and this will set up a 3rd and short. Thank you, David, for the interview down there, and the clock starts moving again at 7:35 left to play in the third quarter. A short field for the Yellowjackets here, Kelly, and they're going to take their time on this 3rd down, and if they go ahead and score here, the Eagles are going to be in a little bit of trouble.
They are, and we talked a little bit earlier before the game even started talking about the possibility of Georgetown wearing down the Stephenville defense, but it's turning the other way.
Renfro able to escape pressure. He picks up the 1st down as he gets out of the pocket and gets across the 40 to the 35, down to the 31-yard line, and that tackle made by Behl, but Renfro again doing it with his legs, and he has been a thorn in the Eagle defense's side tonight.
They are not going to forget this kid. He is a strong, athletic kid, and I think this is what their coaches have been expecting out of him this year and haven't quite seen in talking to them before the game, but we're seeing it tonight.
First and 10 from the Eagle 32-yard line. Renfro on the play action hits a man in the flats, and that'll be a quick catch and gain from Trey Week as Noah Madlow was the one who pushed him out of bounds. Only a gain of 2 as he was able to get about a stride after making the catch.
The Eagles are really going to have to stiffen here and try to stop this Yellow Jacket offense going down by 2 scores, 2 possessions. Even this early in the second half is going to be tough to overcome.
Play action out of the run, and now it'll be Renfro rolling out to the left, out of the pocket. He fires a deep strike down the field. It's broken up by Aaron Bazile, and a nice job as that was intended for Roundtree. And 3rd and 8 from the 30 coming up.
That's a little bit of a size mismatch out there, but Behl did a great job of going up and knocking that ball away, high pointing that ball, and keeping the receiver from getting it. So I bet it's 4-down territory here for Stephenville.
3rd and 8, and it will be a handoff here to Campos. Campos stretching it to the right side around right end, gets to the 25-yard line, a little bit short, but as you said, kind of no man's land here, 4-down territory, and the run play makes this a 4th and short, and I get the feeling that despite the mass substitutions here, the Yellowjackets are going to try and pick up these 2 yards.
I'd sell my soul on tackling number 1 right now.
It's a jumbo set. Under center is Renfro. Here comes the linebackers to try and clog up the gaps, and we have a timeout by the Eagle defense, and it's 5:59 left to play in the Royce Electric 3rd quarter, and that was the first time we saw Renfro go under center. He had 3 men behind him to push that pile for 2 more yards. I think that was what they were thinking, and the Eagles wanted to shut that down quick.
Well, in his initial snap count, looked like he was trying to draw the Eagles offside, but as Bun Phillips used to say, they held their water and didn't jump offside, so they did a good job of not doing that. The coaches didn't like what they were seeing, so let's call timeout, regroup, make sure we're going to try to stop this 4th down play.
Yeah, that's probably what the conversation is about there in the Eagle defensive side. On the offensive side, the Yellowjackets are probably pretty comfortable going for it on 4th down the way their defense has been playing.
Well, they've had so much success moving the ball, not only on the ground but in the air too. They've mixed it up real well. Georgetown defense has looked really confused in the second half, and it's showing here, but they've got an opportunity right now to shut that down, hold them, and get the ball back for the Eagle offense and see if we can put some points on the board.
The ball is at the Eagle 24-yard line. The Yellowjackets trying to pick up 2 yards. It's 4th down. The Eagle defense out of their timeout, the first one used in the second half, will come out to the same formation. A jumbo set in the backfield. Under center, it's Renfro. He's getting new instructions from the sideline. Everybody trying to clog up the gaps on the Eagle defense. A couple men go in motion to the fullbacks, and it's a fumble and then hit in the backfield and dropped as the man recovering it for the Yellowjackets. But it will be a turnover on downs. The Eagle offense comes back on the field on the mishap from the Yellowjackets the first time they're under center.
That's the spark you need right there, and some of those defenders were coming off, talking to the offensive guys as they're going on to their huddle on the field, encouraging them. This is the spark you need right here. Get back in this football game. Take back control of it. Take over that line of scrimmage where that point of attack.
1st and 10 for the Eagles. The ball on their own 30-yard line. It's going to be Herman in the shotgun. Bradford goes in motion. He fakes the end around, and then it's a pass, a strike delivered right on target to Jacob Trussell. Trussell picks up the first down for the Eagles, moves the chains to the 49-yard line. Eagles still in their own territory. They want to keep things moving quick.
That's where Georgetown had success, was those quick hitters there in the middle of the field, out on the edges. Let's see if they keep that up.
Edie is behind Herman in the pistol. 1st and 10, the Eagles at their own 49-yard line. Lachlan goes in motion. It's a handoff to Edie behind his right guard. He gets across midfield, and he is stood up at the 48-yard line in Stephenville territory. And 2nd and 8 coming up, but a solid job right there. Make it 2nd and 7. A solid job picking up 3 yards by the offensive line.
Imperative to keep this drive going. Make this a 3rd. Get the first down or make this a 3rd and short.
Bradford goes in motion, faking the end-around handoff is Herman. He fires it out to the flats. Lachlan makes the catch, and Lachlan picks up a couple yards around to the 45-yard line where he's brought down. It'll bring up a 3rd and 4.
That's 3 plays in a row where Georgetown's had pre-snap motion with the receiver coming across the face of the quarterback. 3 different looks from the exact same set. So it's that kind of deal that the offensive coaches are trying to keep the Stephenville defense on their heels, not knowing what's coming.
3rd and 4 from the Stephenville 45-yard line. Trips to the left and flags come in and stop this play. A penalty that's likely on the Eagles.
Heard the frustration from the coaching staff over here to my right. May need some carpentry work on some of the stuff in the coach's box. They're not happy with those pre-snaps.
Yeah, that's a 5-yard penalty on the false start. The clock stops at 4:30 to announce the penalty. And that makes a 3rd down a little bit harder here. Picking up the 1st down is very crucial here because it is probably punt territory. Pistol formation for Herman from the right hash mark. 2 receivers on both sides. He drops back, scans across the field, has plenty of time. Flag comes in the area of a hold. Herman's going to take off, picks up the 1st down across the 40, the 30, gets a block at the 20, and he's pushed out of bounds in the red zone at around the 17-yard line, but I get a feeling this is coming back.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold. All for naught back there. And the offensive line's getting frustrated because they're giving the quarterbacks some time to throw the ball. The Stephenville defenders are just all over the receivers, and they got no place to go with the ball.
Well, another penalty here, back-to-back penalties. The false start and then the hold will really put the Eagles behind the chains here as they had a solid enough drive going until they had to deal with 3rd down and 4 to the yard to gain. That yard to gain is the 41, and they, in Stephenville territory, the Eagles backed all the way up to their own 40-yard line. It's 3rd down, 19 to go. 4:05 left to play in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers on both sides. Out of the pistol, it'll be Oldorf. Oldorf under pressure, and he will be tackled for a loss to the 38-yard line. Daniel Luna was the one who made the sack, and the clock's still moving here at 3:45 left, and the Eagles will have to punt this one away, ending a productive drive, and mostly that comes to an end because of penalties.
Yeah, and the quarterbacks are having some time back there, and they're just not having any open receivers. So there's something going on in the Stephenville backfield that's really confusing the receivers and tying up their routes.
Lachlan booms this punt away, and calling for a fair catch to the 23-yard line is Roundtree, and that is where the Yellowjackets will take over here. It's 21-13 here in the Royce Electric 3rd quarter. Stephenville looking to add on to their lead and spoil homecoming for the Georgetown Eagles. The defense scored the most recently for the Eagles on a pick 6. And, man, it's hard to ask the defense to score again, but it certainly would be welcome.
Turnover would be big at this point, but Stephenville's offense has been a machine in this second half. They made some adjustments, and they've really been able to take advantage of what Georgetown's throwing at them defensively. Their last stop was on the last drive was a mistake, fumbled snap.
2 men in the backfield with Kaden Renfro. He takes a high snap and hands it off to Phillips, and then Phillips is brought down for a huge tackle for loss in the backfield by Hunter Springer, who made him lose yardage all the way back to the 18-yard line.
Hunter was chasing him down with some frustration in his mind, it seemed like, but he was determined to catch up to the speedy back and did. Made a great play.
Loss of 5 at 2nd and 15. Renfro will drop back, scans to the left. He evades one tackle, rolls out to the right side. He has to deal with Springer again, and he just hits the deck. And it was a Hargrove who was also there on the hurry up, and Renfro just decided to live to see another day. He's down at the 20-yard line, and the clock's moving here. 2:30 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Braden did a good job of not over-pursuing, recognizing the athleticism of Renfro and staying home like he needed to keep him contained. Renfro slides down. The Eagles have a chance to get this 3 and out.
3rd and 13, Renfro will drop back. He is under pressure again, and he is brought down before he can escape the pocket and that was made by Taylor Behl, who forces this 4th down and made sure that Renfro couldn't hurt the Eagles again.
Taylor got in there fast. Renfro's pocket started to collapse, and he's been able to run out of that a couple of times, but they had pressure from all directions in. Renfro had no choice. Went down. The Eagles have held. Now we get the ball back. Offense has got to do something with this football.
De La Rosa and Lachlan are back deep to receive this punt from Morrison. It's 4th and 16. The ball's on the 17-yard line. Morrison's going to have to send this one away from around the 5-yard line. That's where he stands to receive the punt. And he has it blocked. It's up the 2-yard line rolling in, and it'll be downed at the 1-yard line by a Yellow Jacket. And the Eagles have some momentum thanks to a special teams blocked punt.
That's defense coming up big once tonight. Special teams coming up big once tonight. We're 1st and goal for the Eagle offense. Now it's time for those big boys up front to move that line out. Let's put this ball in the end zone. Great job by the Georgetown special teams. I'm not sure which one of the two got it, but there were 2 guys back there. They called a meeting at the punter, and they were both on time.
You could not ask for better field position here, as the Eagles will have it at the Stephenville 1-yard line with 1:24 left to play in the Royce Electric 3rd quarter. And a little bit of electricity coming from the Eagles special teams, as it'll be Darson Herman in the pistol. Behind him is Ryan Eady, who moves over to the left. And now in motion goes Bradford. It'll be Herman trying to keep it, and he is stood up at the 3-yard line, brought down on the tackle made by Creed Averhoff. And that stops a little bit of the Eagles' momentum, brings up 2nd and goal from the 3.
Back in the shotgun like that, it's kind of difficult for the quarterback to get going when you got 4th and short like that. Sometimes you'll see offenses go under center like that, but Georgetown doesn't operate under center a whole lot at all. You saw that kneel down in the first half. It's in shotgun.
Here is a zone read, a bobbled zone read. Herman has to lose it, and it's picked up by a Yellow Jacket at the 5-yard line, as there was miscommunication there. Herman didn't know if he wanted to hand it off to Edie, and then he tried to pull it out at the last second, take it into the end zone himself, and then as he tried to go into the end zone, he bobbled a little more, and it was picked up by a Yellow Jacket. With 44 seconds left in the 3rd, the Yellow Jackets will take over at their own 5-yard line.
That's a zone read look, and Darson made a sophomore mistake there because it was already too late to pull that ball out, but he saw that right side of the Stephenville defensive line had been collapsed, and he had wide open to the end zone, but bobbles the ball. Big hit.
Stephenville 1st and 10 from their own 5. It's a quick pass to an out route. It's caught by Coy Aiken, and that'll be a 1st down and get them out of the shadow of their own goalpost.
Boy, that was a big 1st down throw by Renfro out there. Big completion. Now they've got the whole playbook in front of them. They're not scared of these corners on the Georgetown side of the football.
They're going to slow things down now here with an opportunity to end the Royce Electric 3rd quarter. I think that's what they're thinking of.
Yeah, they're just going to let that clock run, get out of here, and take away a possession from the Eagles in that whole time frame for the 2nd half.
Well, that will do it for the Royce Electric 3rd quarter. The Yellow Jackets will take possession at the 18-yard line in their own territory, a new set of downs when we start the 4th quarter here on SHN Sports. Your score, Stephenville 21, Georgetown 13.
Program Insurance Group is designed to fit your insurance needs. We will help you manage and plan for all your potential risks. As professionals, we assess your needs and offer you a variety of insurance products to choose from. Service, whether it is in response to an insurance claim or general question, is the most important value we offer you. For more information, please visit pigbcs.com. Matt Morrow of Gateway Mortgage Group is a proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. As one of the country's largest privately held mortgage companies, you can expect smart solutions to meet nearly any mortgage need. From the right products to great rates and technology that powers it all, you'll find it here. Gateway Mortgage Group, your local residential lender. Borrow from Morrow. Visit them online at borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148.
It is the start of the fourth quarter, and the first play is a pickup of 9 yards on first down from the 18-yard line, and they move the ball out to the 28-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 1. The clock picks up here as we're at the Extraco Banks fourth quarter. Carl Schoening on with Kelly Duvall. It'll be Renfro escaping the pocket and trying to angle out. He's near the sticks, and it was Aaron Bazile who was able to push him out of bounds. And let's see where the spot is. I think they're going to move the chains. Yeah, they will.
They are. There was a hold on that interior, boy. It was one of the offensive linemen had one of the Cummings boys. I think it was Connor, had Connor by the back of his jersey. Almost, if he'd have tackled him, it would have been a horse collar tackle, grabbing and pulling him back, but the referees didn't see it, and it opened up that run out there.
Out of the pistol, Renfro will hand it off, and Phillips will evade one tackle, will evade 2 tackles, get to the 30-yard line, and be stood up at the 31 as Taylor Behl made the stop. It was a pickup of 3 yards and brings up 2nd and 8. And they're content running this clock, chewing up a lot with the run game.
Yeah, they had been running that hurry-up offense, trying to keep Georgetown off their heels, but now they're content with winding this clock down, taking their time, using all the play clock that they can, and then moving on because Georgetown hadn't been able to do anything on offense in the second half.
2nd and 7 from the 31. Stephenville in their own territory. Renfro hits Phillips in the flats. Phillips across the 30. Stutter steps at the 35. He picks up the first down at the 39-yard line before he's hit by a couple Eagle defenders led by Taylor Behl. But the damage done. The clock stops at 10:03 to move the chains, and the Yellowjackets obviously content letting some play clock burn here as it starts rolling again.
This is a well-coached Stephenville team. Boy, they've got discipline, and you can tell that they have really game planned for this game, and they're attacking Georgetown defense at their weaknesses.
Trips left. It's a screen pass that is dropped, and that one will go nowhere as Roundtree was, I guess, just slightly ahead. A lot of Eagles thought that might have been a lateral or backwards pass, but instead it's incomplete. Clock stops at 9:45. And that brings up 2nd and 10 from the Stephenville 39, the Yellowjackets in their own territory.
The Eagles have been outgained 20 first downs to 7 first downs, but they're still fighting in this and very much in this ball game.
Renfro on 2nd and 10 fires a pass out to the right side. It is caught by Morrison, and he is near the first down marker. Call it a gain of 9. So 3rd and 1, the ball at the 48-yard line, and they need 1 yard to gain. Renfro under center. He's going to try and push forward. He has a first down and a lot more out to the 45-yard line, called the 44-yard line into Georgetown territory, and Coach Griffin out at the numbers by the 45-yard line trying to yell at his defense, but either way, Renfro picks up a lot on what was a quarterback sneak.
I don't know if Dave can hear what he's yelling about, but he's yelling at the referees about something.
1st and 10 from the Eagle 44-yard line. A methodical drive being put together by the Yellowjackets. They're content letting some clock burn here at 9:30 left to play in the Extraco Banks fourth quarter. Trips to the left, a single receiver wide to the right. Renfro in the shotgun. He's going to drop back for a pass, looks to his right, throws to his right. It's caught by Morrison. He runs out of bounds after picking up the first down at the 33-yard line.
Carl, when I'm watching the defensive line, their pass rush is not as heavy as it was in the first half because Renfro has done so much with his feet. They're trying not to push past him and give him the rest of the field, and it's causing some problems because they're not able to get any pressure on him.
The clock stopped at 9:14 after the pass that was caught and then run out of bounds. A quick pass out to Cole Stanley. It was way in front of him, incomplete. That stops the clock at 9 minutes, 11 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter and brings up 2nd and 10. And both sides are going to take a little bit of a slowdown here as trying to keep it at a fairly moderate pace were the Yellowjackets.
This has given the Eagles some time to catch their breath, but boy, they have just got to tighten up on that coverage and stop these drives.
It's a blitz brought on by the Eagles out of the pistol. A quick toss to Phillips. Phillips able to shake loose of a couple tackles and turn a loss into a no gain as Connor Cummings was able to stop him back at the line of scrimmage.
It's good to see that pursuit out there, the ball carrier. Eagles able to run out there and shut that play down. Got a 3rd and long now. I would imagine this is going to be 4-down territory as well. So Eagles are going to have to tighten for 2 plays to get this ball back.
The Yellowjackets in no man land. Looks like they might have a free play. Renfro will throw it up like he has one. It's into the end zone. Touchdown caught by Roundtree as that one goes 33 yards with 8:29 left. I didn't see a flag there, but Renfro casually threw that up and threw that 33-yard touchdown pass, and the Yellowjackets add on 6 more.
With the lack of productivity the Eagles have had, boy, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because that goes ahead and makes this a 3-score game. It'll be Morrison here who will go ahead and try and kick the extra point through, and that one up through the uprights and good, making it 28-13, 8:29 left to play in the Extraco Banks fourth quarter. We're going to take a break on SHN. Georgetown in desperate need of a score.
Central Texas High School football on SHN Sports is made possible by Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company. 3 words describe Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company: simple, reliable, and awesome. We support our community. From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products, Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company helps put your brand on your business. Get started on your project today by getting a quick and easy quote online at GeorgetownShirtCompany.com. 2019 high school football on SHN Sports is proudly presented by Georgetown Jewelry. Georgetown Jewelry is your trusted local jewelry store, family owned and operated since 2013. Whether you desire a one-of-a-kind custom piece or want to enjoy browsing our inventory of both unique and traditional jewelry and watches, stop by and see us at Georgetown Jewelry. We also specialize in jewelry repair and appraisals. For more information, please visit Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center in Georgetown, or online at georgetownjewelry.com.
It is the start, 8:29 left to play in the fourth quarter, and the Yellowjackets, with a huge touchdown, will go ahead and make this a must-score drive for the Georgetown Eagles, as it'll be Morrison kicking it away from the 40.
Some updated passing stats for Renfro. He's 19 out of 30 attempts for 223 yards, 1 interception in the first half. And then Barba had that 1 touchdown pass on the reverse earlier.
It'll be Cade Lachlan fielding it at the 5, and he's going to take it down the right hash mark, find some room at the 20, the 25, and he's pushed out of bounds at around the 30-yard line. And it was the kicker, Morrison, who made the stop, but a nice job by Cade Lachlan to go from the 5 to the 31.
Again, another spark. The Eagle offense has to do something with this spark and try to get this going. If they're lucky, they're going to have 2 more possessions. They're going to have to score on both of them.
Well, the Eagles won't have to, if they want to get 2 possessions, they're not going to have much time to waste here. Out of the pistol, it'll be Herman. Herman hands it off to Edie, and Edie is able to duck away from a tackle and pick up about a yard on first down, 2nd and 9. And the problem with running it at this point is that the game clock starts to be drained.
Yeah, the running game making short yardage on that first down really makes it difficult.
Herman will drop back on 2nd and 9 from the 31, fires across the middle. It's caught at the 15, it's caught at the 35, to the 40, to the 10, and that is a touchdown by Corey Coleman. He takes it. That 68 yards.
What a great catch by Coleman. He had that defender all over him, but he was able to pull the ball in and score big for the Eagles. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you. I was all excited.
No, hey, that was great. And he went ahead and took it 68 yards, and scoring quickly is exactly what the Eagles needed right there.
Now the defense has to buckle up. You know, it feels like Stephenville's so much farther ahead because they've had so much more success in the second half, but we're a score out of this.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2. The Eagles have it set up on the left hash mark. Herman in the pistol, Edie behind him. Trussell, the fullback, goes in motion, rolling out to the right as Herman fires in the end zone, and it is completed to Lachlan. And the 2-point conversion worked after the missed extra point earlier on the pick 6. The Eagles make up for it right there. It's 28-21.
Sometimes people think the wisdom says, hey, let's get that first 7 points and go for 2 if we can score again. But now we've got that 2 out of the way. Touchdown and an extra point now ties this game, so the defense has got to be excited about that. But just a couple of plays, so they haven't got a lot of rest.
Well, it's a one-possession game, and as you were saying, the Eagles would want the ball back at least one more time, and if the defense can hold the Yellowjackets here, the Eagles will be set up for an opportunity to tie it up on their next drive now with a more traditional point-after attempt instead of having to worry about go for 2 later. So they went for 2 right then, and now 7:45 left to go in the Extraco Banks fourth quarter. The Eagles able to score quickly because they got it with 8:27 left to play in the fourth, and here it is with 7:45 left to play in the fourth. Not even a minute coming off on that possession thanks to the 68-yard bomb.
Couple of scores from District 11 in Division 1 5A, which is Georgetown's district. Cedar Park is just thrashing Rouse 55-9. District play did start for some of these teams tonight. The Hello Hippos defeat Conley 40-27, and Pflugerville is defeated by Manor 42-17. So district kicks off in an interesting way tonight, and these teams are separating themselves already.
Coleman will be the one to kick it away for the Eagles. He sends it high and short, taken by one of the upmen, and he's down at the 32, called the 33-yard line, as Grayson Treyweek is the one who caught it. And the Yellowjackets, no real opportunity to return, but solid field position starting at their own 33. And let's go ahead and send it down to David England. David, what do you got for us?
Carl Kelly, I'm losing my voice down here, but I got to tell you, on the sideline, I was watching Corey Coleman before they went in for that last drive, and he did a Catholic symbol, the genuflect, across the sign of a cross in front of his chest, and I thought, and then he got that touchdown. How about that?
Thank you, David. And yeah, you know, a little divine intervention always helps. And here it is, 7:40 left to play in the fourth quarter. Yellowjacks lead at 28-21. First and 10 from the 33-yard line. Renfro relays new instructions to his offensive line. He has Phillips to his right out of the shotgun. He's going to follow Phillips. He's under pressure, trying to get out of the pocket, and he will be wrapped up and then brought down by the Georgetown Eagles, Hunter Springer.
The corners for Georgetown moved up and were bumping the receivers at the line. That's thrown off the timing. That's a great call by the defensive staff to move those guys up close because they've been playing 7 and 8 yards off the ball. I was watching them then, and it threw their routes completely off. And you saw the confusion in Renfro because he had no place to go with the football.
Renfro allegedly picks up half a yard there. It's 2nd and 9. A blitz being shown by the Eagles, and that'll change up Renfro's play call here. Clock moving, 7 minutes to play in the Extraco Banks fourth quarter. Renfro back in the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 2 men in the backfield, and he bobbled it. He was able to get it back, and then he's brought down in the backfield.
Boy,
the tackle made by Alan Hernandez.
The defense has some life. That exchange between the quarterback and the center on the shotgun snap has caused them some problems. I think it's still that same guy that's their second string snapper in there, so that's caused some problems now. But you're seeing some confusion on the part of the Stephenville offense on this just by getting those corners moved up some and changing what they're doing out there in the defensive backfields.
3rd and 14 from the 39. It's play action, dropping back to Renfro, looking around the pocket, fires down the right sideline, caught for a first down and more, evading one tackle across midfield to the 45 and then down to the 42-yard line. A great catch made out of the backfield by Phillips, and then he was finally brought down by Noah Maidlow, and that's a big boost of momentum going to the Yellowjackets as they enter Georgetown territory.
This Renfro kid is impressive with how he can buy some time. He's got his lineman pushing the defenders past the pocket and past the quarterback, and he's got the whole field in front of him because the Georgetown defensive backs have had to go so far down the field, and he's able to buy time and hit open receivers, and his receivers are coming back and taking care of their quarterback. Great job by this Yellow Jacket offense.
5 seconds on the play clock, 1st and 10. It's going to be a simple handoff and then a run up the middle by Phillips. Phillips takes it to the 39-yard line for a gain of 5 yards, and that brings up 2nd and 5, but more importantly, it keeps the clock running here at 5:22 left to play in the 4th quarter, and the Yellowjackets want that game clock to tick because even if they don't score, it hurts the Eagles' chances.
Right. And once they get down to under 3 minutes, and Georgetown's really going to have to start thinking about taking their timeouts to stop this clock. And Stephenville, I would bet, is going to keep that ball on the ground now and try to run this clock.
Georgetown has 2 timeouts left. The Yellowjackets have all 3. Under 5 minutes of play in the Extra Banks 4th quarter. Out of the pistol, it's Renfro handing it off and then taking it across the 40 to cross the 35 with 1 yard left. It was Cowen tackled by Sal De La Rosa, and this is a huge 3rd down for the Eagle defense because, you know, at this point, if you're the Yellowjackets, if you take a loss for yardage here, they're going to have to punt. But this is where the Eagle defense needs to get a tackle for loss.
Yeah, if they can stop this here, then Stephenville would probably punt the ball and not take a chance on giving Georgetown decent field position, but the defense just has to come up with something nasty here and stop this Yellow Jacket offense right here. This is a huge 3rd down.
Jumbo set in the backfield. Under center is Renfro. He's going to hand it off, and getting the first down and a little bit more is Phillips to the 29-yard line is where he ends his roll. The clock stops at 3:59 to move the chains. Hargrove was able to trip him up, but he still picked up the first down, and then now the clock chewing commences for the Yellowjackets.
Defense got a good push right in the middle of the line, but Phillips bounced it out to the right and had a good hole over there and got more than enough for the first down. So that clock's going to tick, tick, tick. If Georgetown can hold them on this play, then I would bet they're going to burn a timeout here after this first down play.
Plenty of time here for Renfro. He has 5 seconds left on the play clock. 1st and 10 from the 29. He hands it off to Campos, and Campos takes it all the way to the 20 for a gain of 9 on first down. He keeps it between the tackles. Taylor Behl, the one who makes the stop. But yeah, here it is. They have plenty of time left as they are they just now enter the red zone barely. The ball at the 20, 2nd and 1, and the Eagles staring in the face of the Yellowjackets, making this a tough game to come back from.
It is. Can't give up any points here, but right now I don't know that Stephenville is all that concerned about scoring points, just ticking this clock out. Long drive, empty this clock.
2nd and 1 from the 20. It'll be a handoff to Campos, and Campos is tackled in the backfield. Making the stop is Braden Hargrove, and that was a big stop to bring up 3rd down, and now a timeout called by the Eagle defense stops the clock at 2:28 left in the 4th quarter. That's the 2nd timeout for the Eagles in the 2nd half. So they'll have 1 left. The Yellowjackets have all 3, and we will take a break here on SHN Sports. We'll be back in a moment. The conclusion of the game coming up.
Now Now that's the sound of Eagle football. While the Eagles deliver on the field, Extraco delivers off the field. Whether it's opening up a small business, growing your business, retirement, or something simpler, we'll work with you to make it a reality. Let's build some dreams. Tell us your dreams at extracobanks.com. Extraco Banks is a member FDIC.
2:28 left to play in the fourth quarter. It's a big third down for the Georgetown defense. 3rd and 4 from the Eagle 23-yard line. Under center is Kaden Renfro. Jumbo set in the backfield. A pitch to Phillips. Phillips fighting for the first down. He gets it across gets to the 21-yard line. He is stopped short. Taylor Behl with a big tackle made there. Brings up 4th and 1.
Going to be an interesting call here for the Stephenville coaches. You put points up, make it a 2-possession game, or you go for it, stick a dagger in the throat of the Georgetown defense right here with 2 minutes left in the game. Looks like they're going to go for that first down.
Eagles only have 1 timeout left here, and it looks like the Yellowjackets are kind of in that tough area to really do anything with the punt. So they're just going to go ahead and let this clock burn down as much as they can, and I think they're going to go ahead and take a timeout here with 1 second left. That'll be what they do. The clock will stop at 1:36 thanks to the Yellowjacket timeout. And this is probably a situation where they do go back under center and try to get that 1 yard and then force the Eagles to use their timeout. But yeah, this is the game right here basically.
Yeah, this is the exact reason why I'm glad I'm not a high school football coach, because like Coach Dean said at halftime, this is stuff that makes your hair gray.
The timeout will be taken. We'll take it with them. We'll be back. 1:36 left to play in the fourth quarter. The Yellowjackets lead the Eagles 28-21.
Program Insurance Group is designed to fit your insurance needs. We will help you manage and plan for all your potential risks. As professionals, we assess your needs and offer you a variety of insurance products to choose from. Service, whether it is in response to an insurance claim or general question, is the most important value we offer you. For more information, please visit pigbcs.com.
1:36 left to play, and it's 4th and 1. The ball's at the 20. Stephenville at the Eagles 20-yard line, and they have to get to the 19 to basically end this game. They take the field, breaking their huddle from the sideline. The Georgetown Eagles defense eagerly awaiting them. Renfro under center. Jumbo set behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, and another timeout called by a very angry coach on the opposite sideline, as I don't think Sterling Doty liked what he saw from his offense.
No, I'm not sure what he saw. I'm not sure what they lined up that made him so upset, but he was not pleased with something that happened out there.
And with this 1:31 left, we'll keep it right here this time. It's 28-21, and this is basically it. If the Eagles can get us, they're going to go ahead and add 5 seconds left, so they think 1:36 should be left after that timeout. Yeah, the clock started and it shouldn't have, but yes, it's a very big play here.
Yeah, and it's interesting because they've lined up in basically a bigs formation, tight package, almost like a goal line offense, and they bounced it outside the 3 previous times that they've lined up like that. So it'll be interesting to see what Stephenville does on this call here.
It looks like they're going to go for a field goal. So this will be Morrison with a 37-yard attempt. It is no good. And the Eagles will get the football back with 1:29 left to play. And an interesting call there by the Yellowjackets, putting the faith in Morrison's leg. And he's been a pretty good kicker. You talked him up during the pregame in his first time coming out. But here we are, the Eagles with 1:29 to try and tie this ball game up on 1 final drive.
The Stephenville coaches are upset they didn't call the encroachment on that kick, but I think the Georgetown defender didn't cross the line right there, so no call there.
Herman out of the pistol with Edie to his left, 1st and 10 from the 20, and he hits Bradford right back at the 20, and the Eagles are going to have to get right back to this line of scrimmage. They only have one timeout left. The Yellowjackets also only have one timeout left, but the Eagles need to go 80 yards, a gain of 1. It's 2nd and 9. Minute 10 left here, and dropping back for a pass is Herman. Looks to his left. He's going to tuck it and run up the middle, and he is brought down at the 23-yard line. And this will bring up a crucial 3rd down, but obviously it's 4-down territory for the Eagles. Still, getting that 1st down to stop the clock and then getting right up to kill the clock is going to be very huge. Herman out of the pistol. Rolls out to the left, scans down the field, fires down to the left sideline. Lachlan trapped the ball. He came up with it, but it's incomplete, and 4th down coming up for the Eagles. 36 seconds left in the Extraco Banks 4th quarter.
Yeah, Coach Griffin's going to take his last time out here. You've got the outcome of this game in the hands of the sophomore quarterback. He's had some success in the first 3 games with his feet. He hasn't had that success in this game. And one of the Stephenville coaches I talked to before the game is a freshman coach, and he said he played against Darson last year and knew he was a special player. And so they have watched the game film. They've known Darson since last year, and they were prepared for him, and they've really kept him in check on the ground.
We're going to go ahead and talk to David England on the sidelines. David, how's the atmosphere down there?
Hats off to this Georgetown Eagle Nation. They, for three plays there, they had to come up loud, and they did that, and they made a big impact, and we got the ball back.
Certainly a huge situation, and they might have played a little part in the missed field goal there that gives the Eagles this last chance. 4th and 8, the ball at the 23-yard line. 36 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter. Herman drops back, scans to the left side. Wants to roll out to the left side now. Tucks it and tries to run for the 1st down. He gets it and he runs out of bounds. He stops the clock with 26 seconds left, and a huge play by Herman to keep this drive alive.
That's what makes him dangerous, the ability to get outside like that. That's the first really good run he's had tonight. Good heads-up play getting out of bounds, too.
26 seconds left for the Eagles. Herman in the pistol. 2 receivers on both sides. From the left hash mark, he's going to drop back. Scans across the field. Rolls out to the right side as he's under pressure. Throws to the right sideline just to get rid of it. And that'll stop the clock with 19 seconds. 6 seconds come off of the clock there on 1st down.
Yeah, it's going to have to be something now where he's trying something down the field. Because he's going to get 2 shots at this probably. And he's got the time. The offensive line's done a good job of giving him time to throw the ball. The receivers just can't get open. And the middle of the field's a bad place right now.
2 receivers on both sides. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Herman escapes the pocket, and he was going to fire it down the sideline as he was hit as he threw, and it's incomplete.
Good heads-up play by Darson getting rid of the football because he was going down. The Stephenville coaches are wanting an intentional grounding, but he was well outside the tackle box. So good play by Darson, good heads-up play there, and maybe get 2 more shots at it. Maybe.
13 seconds left to play in the ball game. 3rd and 10. Ball at the 32-yard line. 2 receivers on both sides out of the pistol. It's Herman. He sends Edie to his right. Looking for the pass on the left side and then throwing it to the left side, and then being wrapped up is...
Clock's running. He didn't get out of bounds.
Yeah, as that pass was completed by Coleman, and they will not get back to the line of scrimmage to get another play off. The Eagles drop their first game of the season here on homecoming. The final score here from Berkelback's field, it's Yellowjackets 28, Eagles 21. We'll be back with more here in the post-game show from Berkelback Field. Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall on SHN Sports.
Matt Morrow of Gateway Mortgage Group is a proud supporter of Georgetown Eagle football on SHN Sports. As one of the country's largest privately held mortgage companies, you can expect smart solutions to meet nearly any mortgage need. From the right products to great rates and technology that powers it all, you'll find it here. Gateway Mortgage Group, your local residential lender. Borrow from Morrow. Visit them online at borrowfrommorrow.com. NMLS number 464148. If you or your family couldn't work for 6 to 12 months due to a serious illness or major accident, how would that affect you or your family financially? Hi friends, I'm Rob Hipp. I offer products that can help during the tough and unforeseen times. For more information, please call me directly at 512-522-9105. Again, that number is 512-522-9105. Central Texas High School football on SHN Sports is made possible by Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company. 3 words describe Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company: simple, reliable, and awesome. We support our community. From screen printing and embroidery to promotional products, Georgetown and Austin Shirt Company helps put your brand on your business. Get started on your project today by getting a quick and easy quote online at GeorgetownShirtCompany.com. 2019 high school football on SHN Sports is proudly presented by Georgetown Jewelry. Georgetown Jewelry is your trusted local jewelry store, family owned and operated since 2013. Whether you desire a one-of-a-kind custom piece or want to enjoy browsing our inventory of both unique and traditional jewelry and watches, stop by and see us at Georgetown Jewelry. We also specialize in jewelry repair and appraisals. For more information, please visit Georgetown Jewelry, located in the Williamsburg Village Shopping Center in Georgetown, or online.
We're going to go ahead and have to cut that short for Georgetown Jewelry. We appreciate their sponsorship. We're going to go ahead and send it down to David England. He's with Coach Griffin. David.
Coach Griffin, so much fight out of these Eagles tonight. A lot of heart. Give us your thoughts on this game tonight.
You know, I'm proud of our guys. They played hard. They never quit. They did a great job working through the game. We just made too many mistakes. Offensively, we struggled through the night, and you got to be able to score when you get the ball on the 1 yard line. You know, and combined a little bit. I thought defense played great most of the night. So we just got to go back, get some things fixed, and get after it again.
Yes, sir. We'll look forward to huddle.
Thank you.
Carl, back to you.
Thank you, David. Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. The final score here, Stephenville defeats Georgetown on homecoming, 28-21, and he brings up a very important part of the game where the defense or the special teams came up with a block punt. They were able to get it at the 1 after Stephenville recovered it, and that was basically a turnover on downs. But that led to a zone read a couple plays later that ended up being a fumble for the Eagles, in which the Yellowjackets took over at the 5. And if you can point to any part of this game that keeps us from perhaps having overtime right now, it's that one.
Well, and it's that mistake that happened down on the goal line, and then we had some crucial penalties that absolutely shut drives down. It's a result of we had some injuries. We had guys playing who are young, not used to being on the field that much. But everybody has that. Everybody has to face those issues. And like Coach said, you address it in practice, there's no harm. We start a new season next week. District play kicks off for us. So you get rid of this one, learn the lessons that you need to learn from it, but we face a tough team next week.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. No matter what happens tonight, unfortunately, the homecoming crowd is sent home with a loss. But the lessons to be learned in film practice and on the field, and then next thing you know, it's the new season, the real season, district play. These are the important games. And overall, a 3-1 non-district schedule is pretty solid for the Eagles to go ahead and take into district play should they need an overall record.
It is, but right now you learn the lessons that you want to learn from this game, and you take the takeaways that are going to make you better and get ready for a tough District 11 5A opener. So we've got the final stats now. First downs, Stephenville had 25 first downs to just 9 for Georgetown. Rushing yards, 40 rushes for Stephenville for 139 yards, 26 rushes for Georgetown for 97 yards, 290 yards passing for Stephenville and 192 for Georgetown. Stephenville gained those 290 yards on 21 completions and 32 attempts with 1 interception. That happened in the first half. The 192 yards for Georgetown came on 13 receptions and 20 attempts with no interceptions there. Total yardage was 429 for Stephenville and 289 yards on 46 plays for Georgetown. Stephenville had 4 fumbles, didn't lose any of them. Georgetown fumbled the ball once and lost that. 6 penalties for 65 yards for Stephenville, 3 penalties for 45 yards for Georgetown. Stephenville had 3 punts for 49 yards, and Georgetown had 5 punts for 32 yards. The leading rusher for the Eagles tonight was Edie for 18 carries for 17 yards. Renfro, the just unbelievably good quarterback for Stephenville, had 14 rushes for 81 yards. And total plays, 45 plays and 331 yards. So the Renfro was able to guide that Stephenville offense like the coaches had expected him to do earlier. He hadn't had the success early on in the season, but seems like he's got his wheels under him now, and it was just too much for Georgetown to overcome tonight.
Yeah, and that was really the deciding factor of the game. Renfro was just absolutely amazing with both his arm and his legs, and that was just the game changer. And, you know, if you go back to one of the Eagles' scores, that pick 6 from Behl, it was a deflected pass that led to the interception, which obviously is still on the quarterback, but regardless, that was his probably one error that you could really point back to, other than a couple snaps over his head that aren't his fault. So, yeah, we got a really good game from Renfro.
I think some of the things that Georgetown's going to be able to look at is we didn't have R.J. Marino tonight, our leading rusher on the season, just the hoss that we line up behind and move the ball. But we had a junior running back come in, and Edie, he came in, effective runner, good hard runner. Stephenville was able to take away some of the things that Darson Herman usually does back there, but Darson learned some tonight, grew tonight, he'll learn from these mistakes, and whenever you've got him and Old Dort back there being able to offer dual threats to opposing defenses, they can get this fixed, and it's going to be an interesting run whenever the district starts.
Any final thoughts before we head into Hutto Week?
Yeah, it's exciting because – you know, we started off the season 2 strong games, 2 strong showings, and then it kind of seemed like we took a step back going to South San Antonio and an 11-8 win. Defense was still playing really well in that game. Defense played pretty well tonight too, but they just wound up being on the field too long, and Stephenville was able to start taking hold of that. So we get rid of this game, we go on, we move on to next week, and we start next week against Hutto, which is a heck of a district opener.
And David England joins us back up here. David, you want to flip on your mic and add any final thoughts here?
Yeah, you know, I've got to give a hats off. Got to give a hats off to the Georgetown community. They showed up really well tonight, and they made a lot of noise down there to the end, really supporting the guys. Eagle fight never dies. It was just a really tough Stephenville team, and you know the trick play, some things that they did just threw us off a little bit. Our defense fought really, really hard, but they were running them up and down the field. That Stephenville offense was, and I don't think our defense really got much of a break. And I kind of expected the other side. I expected Stephenville to, you know, be playing players on both sides to have that kind of issue. But you know, hats off to a really tough Stephenville team. But our kids, I think, like Kelly said, they'll fight back. And district, which is important, starts next week, and we'll be in the stands broadcasting that game on the visitor side. So it's going to be rowdy. Everybody come to Hutto. But Eagle fight never dies.
Yeah, that will not be an easy task against the Hutto Hippos at their home place. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Carl Schoening along with Kelly Duvall. David England were the voices you heard tonight behind the scenes. We want to thank Doug Clark for spotting for us, Nathan Height for producing for us, Galen Welnecke on the stats, and everybody else involved with the SHN Sports production. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, your final score, Stephenville 28, Georgetown 21, spoiling Georgetown's homecoming. Good night, everybody.
Good night, folks.